All right. Hey everybody, welcome to another stream. This time it is a special stream in that we are going to be analyzing the 2022 Conlang census results. Yes, 1,927 people participated in the 2022 Conlanger census. That is almost twice as much as we got last year. Last year we got 1,033. This year we got 1,927. So we're actually going to have both open at the same time, and we are going to be basically comparing how the numbers have changed between last year and this year, and we have a more representative sample this time anyway, and a bunch of new questions and stuff. So I am joined today by Juno, Kate, and Eternal. Say hi, y'all. That's right. Alright, so did you guys all participate in the Conlang census? I hope you did. Very nice. Nice. Very epic. So yeah, this year, I think we made a lot of improvements on this year's census. Well, I guess it's last year now. Yeah, it is definitely formatted better. Yeah, it is. I got the cute little logo on it. I split it into 2 pages, and then I think we made some nice improvements to a lot of questions from last year, and yeah. Yes, indeed. I think so. Let's switch to the responses screens. Okay. And for those who are watching maybe like on a phone and you don't have like full screen, the left side is 2021 and the right side is 2022. So, yeah, the one with more responses. That's the 2022 one. So, yeah. Yeah. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so let's start with the straight up number of responses. Right? So we got 1,033 and we got 1,927 this time. Yeah, yeah. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. That is true. I posted them in the same places that I did last year, this year, which included the Language Construction Society's Slack chat, and then other. Oh shit. Let's see.
At least that we were really quiet.
There we go. Okay, that should be better now. Your volume was low for some reason.
Okay, let's see if they can hear us now. Yeah.
There you go. That makes sense. So anyway, what they basically said was the other social media platform column went from 10% to like 1.8%. It's a pretty big difference too. Look, it's 105 responses from other in 2021 down to 34 other this year. Yeah. So that's a big difference.
Wild.
Posted them in the same places to like 3 Conlang related Facebook groups and the LCS Slack channel and a couple Instagram group chats that I
The
was on.
dense deification of conlanging culture.
Yeah, exactly. Also, look how the Discord ratio basically swept up all of that other stuff, which
Yeah.
makes sense,
Because
because
Reddit basically stayed the same. There's only a little bit of a dip.
yeah, I mean the number of
Yeah.
Redditors who did it is higher, but the ratio is
Yeah.
smaller, which kind of makes
It's
sense.
like
Yeah.
percentage-wise, Reddit and YouTube didn't really change that much. It's mostly just the Discord that's
Yeah.
grown and everything else is like kind of gone. Mostly.
Yeah.
Discord ate social media.
Yeah, it pretty
Yeah.
much did.
I
Which
mean,
it makes
Let's
sense.
be honest. Who even uses Facebook anymore?
That's
I have a
true.
Facebook.
Older people. If we
I-
look at like a breakdown of the data, you'll probably see that the age range of the ones who did come from the other
Would-
social media
Yeah.
platforms is probably much
That's
higher.
right.
I nominally have a Facebook, but I
Yeah.
don't even have the app installed.
I mostly just use it so I can occasionally confirm that I'm not dead to my family members.
Yeah, basically me too.
I got it purely because Sambasa. I at one point I wanted to get into Sambasa, and the only way.
Why
into
would you
it
do
was
that to
through a separate
yourself?
Facebook group.
That honestly, that feels appropriate though for a language that's aping Proto-Indo-European so much that it's only learnable on the dinosaur website, Facebook.
There you go. Gemsy says 2.93 billion people apparently. Yeah, I think that's a pretty inflated number compared to the active users though.
Yeah. Stale accounts don't count, okay?
Uh-huh. So we're down to like 1 million.
Something like that. It's like
no.
the only platform that's less used than Facebook is like Skype.
Skype.
Remember, I still know someone that I had a Skype call with like some time ago. One of my classmates, nonetheless. It's like, why do you still use Skype? It's like,
I
anyway.
only used Skype in elementary school.
I used
actually
Skype up
never
to middle
used
school.
Skype.
Really?
I used it in
Yeah, no,
5th grade with this one kid, and then we had a falling out because I never
God.
gave him a dime that he didn't have pockets that day, and he had a dime, so he had me carry the dime for him, and I forgot to give it back to him, and he held a grudge so strong that he still hates me to this day.
Dude, this
Since
oh
7
god,
years.
someone's mentioned MySpace. Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh my god. And then
Oh yeah.
I'm Mavoko says the amount of bots I run into on Facebook suggests that kind of thing accounts for at least a third of that figure. Yeah, no, that also that also figures.
Yeah.
God.
In fairness, bots are actually the majority of individual internet users across the board.
That's true.
Yeah,
That
That's
is
just
true.
how the internet works.
That is very
Yes.
true.
I'm a bot.
Same.
Don't reveal yourself like that. Oh god. MySpace. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so I think that's probably the most interesting thing about this data here, about like the ratios. Everything else
the
is relatively
increase
the
in
same.
Discord.
Yeah, Discord went up.
Yeah.
These guys went down.
Discord is the social media now.
Yeah.
I think we have a
apparently.
lot more users now. Like, I don't even know how many users did we have like a year ago. I mean, Discord, man.
On Discord, a year ago, Discord
Yeah.
was probably at like 500.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
see if I can like check insights.
Yeah.
As Klongs makes a good point as well. Like, a lot of people will just get locked out of their Facebook account and
Yeah,
make a
that's
new one.
true.
Oh yeah.
I
that does
actually,
happen.
one of my cousins has like 6 different Facebook accounts. And I don't know which one is his current one, so we're just not Facebook friends at all.
Okay, like, Agma, I think your estimate of 500 might be a bit overzealous because, according at least to Discord Insights, in October we were still at 600 members.
Really? Jeez.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
What did I release that made every... Oh, it was because the algorithm just started to take up the iceberg video for some reason. So I think I got just like a ton of views recently.
Then, like, what's it called, Seraphim happened.
Yeah, that too. And then the circus,
Oh,
of course. But
Seraphim.
yeah. Anyway, are we ready to move on to the juicier datas?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let us
We'll go to
commence.
the next.
All right. Our next question is the same in 21. So how old are you? Okay.
Oh, wild.
Yeah. So this
Wow.
is interesting.
Yeah, what's the thing?
It looks like
The the percentage of 13 to 15 is increased.
yeah. That I think that's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
The teenagers increased.
Yeah.
The
I'm
lot.
having
the
trouble
young-
reading
We
this
have a
pie.
demographic.
Why are there like 3 shades of blue?
Okay,
There's-
that's purple, light blue, and dark blue.
Okay, I'm colorblind.
There we
I
so
figured as much.
just
Um,
so this one right here, we have the 30 to 39, which is 5.2%. We have 40 and up is 1.5%. And then 20 people, again, like, are, stated that they violate YouTube's terms of service by outing themselves as under 13. So,
well, maybe they got here via their IRL friend being like, "Hey,
yeah,
take the survey."
it's anonymous.
Let's
Well,
just-
I'll never
Let's
know.
just
Also-
assume it was that.
Yeah.
Let's
I
just assume it
bet
was
you though, all those 30 to 40 plus year olds all know each other.
Oh, most
I
definitely.
guarantee either
I
know
bet-
know each other or know of each other and know about each other's
Yeah.
conlangs.
From their newsletters or
from their Slack.
Well, I mean, that's how the listserv used to be.
yeah, listserv.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. I had never heard that word before Lycan mentioned it. I was like, what the heck is a listserv?
Lycan would be the one to mention it, though. I know
Yeah.
he's not
Yeah.
actually that old, but he acts like a fucking wizard. Like a
Lycan
is a
hermit who's
legend.
come down from the mountain
An
to bestow us
ancient
his
wizard.
wisdom.
Truly, he is a legend. I'm Moy Bebavoko says, soon we shall all repeat being fetuses. because conlangers got younger in the past year. We've
Yeah,
de-aged.
This is just showing
all
the
been
Gen
youngified.
Z education and the Gen
Not
Alpha.
sure that's how
education.
time works, but alright.
That's right. But that is a good thing for like the conlang community as a whole. It means people are finding conlanging like earlier and earlier
Yeah.
and getting involved with it, which means we're creating more and more lifelong conlangers, which means the someday conlanging will be like a normie thing. They'll be like, ha, conlanging, that's so basic, you know?
I definitely do think it's better for younger conlangers to like know there is a community, because I remember when I was younger and getting into things, and I thought it was the weirdest idea I'd ever come up with, and I was
Well-
like ashamed to talk about it.
I started because of the Zidnaf video
Ah.
about conlanging.
Don't you mean Heatnoff?
Enough.
No, it's canonically Zidnaf.
I know.
I wouldn't know.
Zidnaf
remember
watches like the
you're
exact Zidnaf watches like the same exact videos as me. I'll like look in the comment sections of videos that I'm watching sometimes, and then I'll see Zidnaf there. I'll be like, oh, look at that, we watch the same stuff. Very cool. Which I guess
Every
makes
once
sense.
in a while,
I
I'll
think
be
so it's like a
scrolling on
Jekyll
Twitter.
and then Hyde situation. Question is who's who.
Oh god.
Every once in a while, I'll be scrolling on Twitter and I'll see a notification from Zidnaf posting something,
Yeah.
and it's just the most random thing.
Always the best. But yeah, like, I don't think the ratios didn't change too much, except except just the proportion of them that are younger. Like when you add together the 13 to 15 and the 16 to 19, that is 49.2% versus last year. I mean,
You can't
si-
add.
42,
60,
43.1%.
whatever.
I accidentally
40
turned
plus
off my
19 Agma. That's 40 plus 10 plus 9.
59.2%. this year versus only like 53% last year. So
Oh, I misread the hell out of that. Whoops. I did that
My
math very badly.
God.
9 versus
like
what's that? That's
53.
52%.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay, 53.1.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So we've gotten a few percent younger, basically.
Being a conlang rejuvenates your age. Being a conlanger.
All right.
Let's take another one.
Ready to move
Take a
on?
look at the next one.
Let's do it. How old were you when you
What
started
a
Conlang?
surprise! Okay.
Quite
I
similar.
love how 13 to 15 is like exactly the same,
Yeah.
except for like 0.1% point.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. Something did change though. The 16 to 19 people did increase in their ratio a little bit.
Well, we got more 16 to 19 people.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
is true.
The ones we got, they either started at 16 to 19 or started earlier than 16 to 19.
That's very true. That's very
This shows
true.
that we got a lot of people who started recently.
Yeah, so again, nothing too crazy about this, though it is interesting that the 30 to 39 proportion went from 1.9% in 2021 to
I also have a
1%.
question. Why is 5 or younger an option?
Because you could hypothetically, you know,
It's a bit
make
unlikely.
that's why only 14 people
14
said so.
people.
I feel like we simply have 14 liars on our hands.
Probably.
Oh god, what if all of them are all of the people who said that they were under 13, you know? Oh my
Oh,
god.
God.
Alright, so nothing too crazy about that. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, let's go on to the pronoun option, which I formatted
pronoun
the
option
question
a
differently.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I formatted it differently this time because I didn't want people to put in like offensive
Oh my God.
like
Yeah,
comments
that's
in here
like-
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed there's still a ton of he/hims here.
That is very true,
And-
and the ratio is basically the same.
It is
Oh, yeah.
also still funny how there are
Also,
less sheep.
this doesn't. Okay, I see what happens. This is like this question. You could select multiple options, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can tell from how the percentages add up.
yeah, exactly. Don't be sushed that it goes beyond 100%. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's select all that apply. So yeah, there are more people who include they them than she her, which is interesting. But I guess again it makes kind of sense, and it's like it's exactly the same as it was last year, except with a slight increase of they
Huh.
them.
Weird that that's
50%, yeah.
Yeah.
weirdly consistent too. Huh.
There's also an increase of neopronouns and other too, which is interesting. By like double.
Well, it also looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of people were filling in their neo-pronouns.
Probably, yeah.
That's true. That's true. So it might not be as severe of a difference here. I just don't feel like combining all of the serious ones on here and putting.
Yeah.
All right. Also, whoever answered your holiness, eat my entire ass, please.
God damn it.
Oh yeah.
There's some cursed ones on there. I figured I would let the transphobic people let out their frustration in the suggestion box because they did it anyway last year too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if Parach took the.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Fucking Tarach.
God,
Don't even
no.
get me started on that fucking
Don't.
dipshit.
Done.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Just as a general statement before we move on, like I'm sure some of the people who were like asking questions about why the pronouns are in here as a question were doing it in good faith and not just to be frustrated and angry. And I think it's worth explaining that, like, I don't know, there's a much higher ratio of like LGBT population in the Conlang community than like in the general populace, and it's just really interesting to see the data as to how that comes out.
Agma, I think you're pretty much the exception.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well,
There are
you'll see as
so
we scroll
few
down.
percent.
Yeah,
Crazy.
exactly. So it's just a statistic that's really interesting to see because of how significant it is.
And also, it's just interesting how many men there are.
Yeah, that too. Exactly. All right, you ready to move on to the next one?
Sure.
Yes, let's do so.
Let us do. All right, so here's the oh wait, we'll go on. There's a new question up here in the 2022 one, but let's just compare these two real quick. So here's the sexuality.
Straight busted, yeah.
That's right. Yep, we went from 39% straight to 37.7% straight.
So there were 300 more straight people, right?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
but still,
But there were
Unfortunately, the
more
number
others.
went down.
yeah. Like the data points are relatively similar, though. Yes, the straight number did go down.
There,
Also, interestingly, the number of people proportionally using the word gay to self-identify went down as well.
That's true. That is true. By 4%, almost 4%. Interesting. Ace went up a little bit.
the
Bi
most
went up a
common
teeny bit.
sexualities are gay, bi, ace, and straight in the Conlanging community.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, again, it's just super interesting to see, you
I'm
know?
also not surprised that straight overall is only like under 40%.
Yeah.
Like,
The Skittle Squad rules the
Leave
Conlanging
my-
community.
Indeed. Very much
Yeah.
so. Like, I am, like, an exception.
You are the minority.
Yeah, exactly. I literally am. Like, but yeah, it's just super cool to see. Like, again, compared to like the general populace, the Conlanging community is just like this beacon of LGBT-ness.
Yes.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's kind of, it's a bit more the case everywhere. Like, programmers too. There's two types of programmers. Either you're like 60 years old with like a beard that goes down to your belly and you're a C programmer, or you wear thigh-high socks. That's like the two types of programmers.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the amount of chronically online people.
I mean, potentially, but that could just go for general online communities, you know?
And
My theory is that since conlanging, you know, kind of begins at the idea that all language is arbitrary, that, you know, these social constructs and stuff, like just
Yeah,
like
that's a good
philosophically
theory.
it probably goes along, I guess. But I am not one of
To
them.
be
I'm
fair-
I'm in the minority, so what do I know?
To be fair, there is a cadre of conlangers who are like Tarachk-y about language.
This is true. This is
Oh,
very
yeah.
true. That
Yeah.
it's a minority sect of them, but they do exist.
True.
They definitely do
They
exist.
just happen to be loud and annoying.
Yeah, and they like to get banned from Discord servers extra quick.
oh yeah.
But yeah, all right. Before we go on to the next one that matches up on both, I would like to look at the introverted, extroverted, or
Okay.
somewhere in between. So, this is an interesting one that we didn't
Introverts
do.
for the win.
Oh yeah, by far,
Yeah.
by far. Introverts and ambiverts all together make up like 92.1% of the conlang population.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and then 7.9% extroverted, which that's I'd say I'm more extroverted. I find more energy
I'm
from
myself an
communicating.
extrovert that just
Definitely,
has
definitely.
social anxiety.
Yeah.
I realize the character from Portals is going to be different.
What was that?
My partner did not know that I am currently live.
Got him. But yeah, I think this is interesting, and I don't know. Any theories behind this? Because I don't really have any theories behind it. I just think it's interesting.
When you're alone or when you're introverted, you'll want to like hang out by yourself, and when you want to hang out by yourself, that leads to a lot more like writing and creative activities that don't involve interacting with other people.
Mm.
Personally, I would have it the other way around. People who are naturally inclined to these certain academic hobbies that don't require a lot of social interaction are therefore inclined to be introverted. You know, which end result is the same, different road to the same city, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Personally, I answered extroverted.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
same.
I feel
But
like
we're
if
the
you're an
minority.
extroverted conlanger, then you just become a conlanging YouTuber.
Yeah, that's
how that
that's
works.
that's the end result right there.
A lot of the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's too much other analysis that can be put into this one. I just think it's funny how only 8% of conlangers are extroverted.
I mean, yeah, sometimes stereotype's gonna stereotype, you know?
Yeah, you know, it happens.
Sometimes the stereotype is closer to the prototype. Yep.
There you God damn it. Okay. All right, and then we have the trans non-binary question, which we have it went up from last year by 3%, but the ratio is pretty similar. Yeah. 27.7% yes.
At all about this.
8.6% unsure, 63.7% no. Which yeah, I mean again, that's not super surprising. Like
Yeah.
again, stayed pretty much the same over the past year. Again, I think it makes sense for conlangers, for any online community. Like there you go.
Yeah.
You got him. Let's see any good comments. Lamau nerds for the freaking
Chronically online. That's a good point, Gemsy. Chronically online.
Certainly online, I prefer that
In
one,
regards
yeah.
to the extroverted thing, not the trans thing. Thought I'd make that clarification.
Good clarification. All right, and then here's a new one right here. New one that we didn't do last year is if you're comfortable sharing, do you identify as neurodivergent in any way? And so we got
It's almost like perfectly split, except leaning towards neurodivergent.
yeah. So we got a yes, got 41.2%, unsure
That's the Jesus
27 27.9% got unsure and undiagnosed, and 30% said straight up no. So that is also very interesting, and I only created that question because it became a meme on our Discord server. Everyone was like, yeah, we're all like neurodivergent, and it was like, oh
Yeah.
there's like that one.
Conlanging lends itself very well to being a special interest, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it combines, like a lot of having to do a ton of research and learning with creative pursuits.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, granted, you can have a special interest about literally anything, so...
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's... Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. Alright, now, let us see. Is the next question the same? Yes, it is. So next we have, what is your current education level? So, interesting. What do we have here?
Well, I feel like having lower education would have increased, considering that the amount of has increased.
That's true. Oh, I know what the difference is. The people asked me as like a suggestion last year to add a difference between college and university, because apparently that's a different thing in other parts of the world in the United States. And so this one is specifically university, whereas the number right here was like university and college, like the concepts of them combined together from last year.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, so basically, imagine the green and purple merged together into one when you're comparing these together. So it's pretty similar. It's very similar. Again, a lot like the plurality is currently in high school, just like last time, which makes sense because conlangers are getting younger. We de-age.
And the plurality are middle schoolers.
Yeah, I mean they could be.
God, imagine middle school.
Well, under high school, that's where middle school goes. That's only 6.5% apparently.
That would make sense because that's under the age of 13, broadly speaking.
Yeah, there you go. So,
yeah,
interesting. Very interesting.
Personally, I only have a high school diploma.
I
don't have a high school diploma. I'm a high schooler.
I'm this greenish one here. I'm the graduated with master's degree, which looks like I'm with just 75 others.
Wild.
People have
I
it with a
did-
PhD.
14
I
PhDs.
just realized, as the youngest in Big Lang, I also managed to represent like the average conlanger, in a sense.
That is true.
that is true.
That is actually true. Yeah.
I am the most common conlanger.
you're the
I'm the
default.
median conlanger.
You're
That's
the
what I am.
you're the median,
see.
the mean median and mode conlanger.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, not median. I'm not sure about median, but mode and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, mode for sure. Mean most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually dropped out of college twice.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
I see.
it's second time it was community college, but it's still a bit of an oof there. I, at some point within the next couple years, would like to give it a go again, especially
I've
now that
never
I,
dropped out of college.
yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to school again, though, in the coming years, especially because I'm going to school here in SoCal, and there are more schools with linguistics programs.
That makes sense.
I see.
Yeah, basically, if I had wanted to get a master's in linguistics, my only choice would have been to go to the University of Buffalo back when I lived in the Midwest. Which, like, you, living in Buffalo, don't at me, Connor.
I was gonna say you've summoned Connor Quimby. I'm like,
Yes, I too love living in the coldest, snowiest, but ugly-assest Midwestern city.
Oh, it's cold and snowy. Well, that would be much nicer than some other state I shall not name here.
Silence! Speak no more. It is. It's been super
Okay,
nice.
actually,
in
I
Arizona.
take back the but ugly comment. I forgot Milwaukee exists. Don't at me, Space Dirt.
Poor thing.
Now Space Dirt's been added. All of our lovely lands are being just eviscerated.
I have no room to talk. I'm from Ohio. I have to lash out at other people to feel good about myself.
That's
I'm
true.
from Georgia, losers.
Oh, Arizona is Arizona Supreme gang right here. Arizona Supreme. It's been
Arizona is
yeah.
so hot.
it's been so
Extortionately
nice
hot.
lately. Like all these rainstorms from those freaking atmospheric rivers. I don't know. It's been nice. It's been there's grass
Rains,
growing
I
everywhere.
didn't know.
There's a plant called a blue dick, and it's this bulb
Oh,
plant.
fuck yeah.
It's kind of like an onion. It's this tiny little onion that's not very spicy, but it's edible. It's a really good food source when you're out in the
Spikes
desert.
all over it.
Yeah,
Is it
no,
actually
there's
blue,
no
though, or is
spikes.
the flower blue?
The flower is kind of
Spikes,
periwinkle
really.
purple,
Interesting.
and whenever it rains a lot, the bulbs they all come to life and they bloom, and Arizona is covered in blue dicks right now. I just think it's really funny to say that Arizona's covered in blue dicks.
Arizona has been visited by the denizens of Pandora.
Oh god. I ate one out in the desert.
Sorry.
Like I ate one out in the desert the other day. I was out hiking with my friend and I was like, "You want to see me eat a blue dick?" And he was like, "What?" And then I just chopped my hand into the ground, pulled one out, squirted it with some water and just chomped it down. He was so surprised.
If you take a step back and reconsider that sentence in isolation without context, then well.
Blue dick.
Yeah. When I used to go camping a lot as a teenager, I would do the same thing with sour grass, like on the side of the trail. And people would be like, "What plant did you just shove into your mouth?"
Got him.
Don't worry, it's an edible one.
Exactly. It's the best prank. Ernifnuff says, anyone want to take pot shots at Seattle? Expensive, terminally rainy. Boom, got him.
Also, the Space Needle is poorly constructed. There we go.
Got him.
It's made out of bad materials.
Got him.
The Space Needle's pretty cool though. I went up there once.
It is cool, but we're roasting
Yeah,
it.
conceptually, I like the idea of it, but they like built it super quickly out of basically garbage.
My dad
It is a
has
miracle
Lego
the building
set of
still
it,
stands.
and it's really cool to
Um,
look at.
Yeah. Anyway,
Moving
let's
on.
move on. Okay, so I added
Move on.
here's a new question right here. There is an equivalent somewhere in here. Let me scroll down and find it real quick.
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh,
Spoilers.
Oh no.
There
Oh,
we
no.
go.
Oh,
There we go. So
dear.
the wording is kind of different too, but the ratios ended up being pretty much the same. So
Oh, yeah.
last year I just said conversationally. This year I said how many natural languages do you speak to at least a B1 lower intermediate level. Again,
what does B1 mean?
B1 means you can hold a conversation, but you don't know like any specialized words, or like you don't know all the specialized words to talk
I
about
see.
crazy difficult things.
A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, A1 is the lowest, C2 is the highest.
I see.
Personally, I only speak 2 languages at like an A1 level. It's very bad. I need to practice more.
Two
I
languages,
speak
so English and what other language?
I meant in addition to my native language, you dipshit. Sorry, are we allowed to swear on stream?
Yeah, we're
I've
well,
already
we're
done it a
well,
couple
we're
times,
well
but I just
past
realized-
the first 30 seconds. You're good.
Okay, I just realized maybe I should have asked before I did that.
Well, it's a bit late.
Got him. Anyway, but yeah, I speak 2.
I'm learning German. I'm okay at it.
I got English and Spanish, and then I know a little bit of Catalan, a little bit of Chinese, a little bit of Latin. That's as far as that goes, but only 2 that are at least lower intermediate level, so I put 2.
For me, it's English and German, and I know Latin, and I can understand Romance languages generally because I know Latin.
There you go.
At least when I'm reading like a text.
Got him.
I
Yeah.
can't understand English when I read a text.
Relatable.
I mean, I can, but it's difficult.
3.6% of people achieve their goals. For what? What is that? Single tax jacks? I don't know. But 5+ is 4.2%. So it looks like we got 80 self-proclaimed polyglots in here.
Oh my god, we do.
Got them. All right. The next question is another new one, which is a kind of flawed question in the list that I used. But which of the top 20 most widely spoken languages in the world do you speak to at least the B2 level? So obviously we got English on top. Then we got Spanish in second place, French in third place.
Ew.
Then it looks like we got Japanese, then Russian, then Mandarin Chinese, then
Confirmed conlangers or weeaboos.
got him. that is a very high
we-
Japanese ratio right there.
Yeah.
The main complaint on this one was that German wasn't on the list, but whatever
Yeah,
whatever
I was sad
Wikipedia,
about that.
yeah, like the Wikipedia list that I got this from didn't have German in the top 20. So I was like,
Well, yeah, that would
all
be
right.
on account of how it's not in the top 20. So.
Yeah, exactly. So got
People
him.
forget that
But German's my
French and
second
English.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the only reason French and Spanish are on this list of widely spoken languages are because of, huge colonial empires. Colonial
Oh,
empires
yeah.
that Germany didn't really
That's also the
have-
only reason English
Yeah.
is on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, like, Germany didn't spread German very far and wide, so it's not in the
Yeah, it
top
was not
20,
that
contrary to
successful.
popular belief.
Yeah.
It's in the top 20 languages that Americans think about.
True, but Americans
Yeah.
are dumb and stinky.
Got him.
You're right.
Also keep in mind, like I am an English-speaking YouTube channel with a mostly English-speaking audience. Most people,
Yeah, so
in
that's
order to
gonna
become
skew-
Agma fans, have to at least have a partial understanding of English.
That
Yeah,
is
it's gonna
true.
skew
that is
the-
true.
Add to that the fact that this survey is in English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the survey is also in English.
Yeah, the
Speaking,
survey's
we
in
have a hard time answering that you don't speak English.
The,
So
Wait,
the
hold
fact
on.
that it's only
We all-
96.9% is actually surprising.
Yeah, we're missing like 100.
like, how did they get this far if they don't speak English at a B1 level? Interesting. Like,
I mean, maybe you could translate the page, I guess.
Maybe they didn't
Yeah, I suppose
understand what
you can
B1
do it.
meant and thought that they weren't good enough for B1.
That is true. That is true.
Classic Dunning-Kruger,
mm.
along with not knowing what exactly it meant.
Yeah. But either way, statistically, it's basically all of them. That's how
Yeah.
it goes.
It's like that meme of like, we did a survey to see if people like responding to survey questions. Answer 1, do you like answering surveys? Answer 2, no, I hate them and throw them in the garbage.
Yeah, that's
Sampling
What do you-
bias.
Got
bias. Yeah, well, the bias demographic.
It looks like Marathi was the only 2 people speak Marathi, even though there's like 20 million Marathi speakers.
I'm more concerned about the fact, if you scroll down a bit, that 4.9 people answered none of the above.
I put that on there because I knew people would probably misinterpret.
Can I be honest for a second?
Yeah.
I may or may not have answered none of the above.
Well, let's just say that this is probably where the German speakers who are angry German wasn't on there went.
That's the German option.
Yeah.
I mean, I did answer truthfully otherwise, but I was like, I gotta click the funny option.
Yeah, exactly.
Skew the data a little bit.
Lay epic
Got
troll.
it. You it.
Luckily, it's a
Exactly.
select all that apply meme, so a question, so it doesn't actually mess anything up. But still,
Oh, select all of the applies, so you can select none of the above and all of them.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
I feel like none of the above shouldn't be an option if you can select more than one, just so you know.
Again, it was kind of a troll question.
Well, the none of the above's there so that you don't have, so that you can select none of them.
That's
Alright.
not how. Okay, okay.
Okay, so this question I rephrased a little bit too, and I also made it an optional question so I didn't have to include an NA section. So that's why the data looks different on this. So
I see.
the question is, on the new version, do you speak at least one language that's of a different language family than that of your native language? For this question, we're not talking about macro families. While Spanish, which is Romance, and Farsi, which is Iranian, are both Indo-European, they're from branches different enough that this is statistically important. So we got 71.2% of people said yes, and
I said
28.2%
yes.
people said no. Which, again, we can't exactly compare it to last time because of how big the NA section was. But if you kind of blot that part of the pie out of your mind and call this 100%, it looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got him. Alright, yeah, not too much to say about that. It makes sense. You know, I speak English and Spanish, thus I said yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
My 3
Someone-
are English, Welsh, and Mandarin, so...
Yeah,
Both Germanic, so yeah.
got him.
Someone in
What?
chat, Daniel Soto, said, I mean, the Germans did try to spread German in the 40s.
Oh god. They sure did. They sure did.
Yeah?
Yeah,
They sure tried, didn't they?
yeah, that is a thing that occurred.
Yeah. Ooh. Mind blown. All right. Just like Hitler's. Anyway. Anyway. New question. This one was not on the previous one. Do you speak a tonal language? 79.8% no. 13.8% yes. People who speak Swedish said unsure.
I could only respond yes to this question because my Chinese is at like an A1, A2 level.
Yeah, exactly.
I responded no. Obviously.
Yes.
I said yes
Total
because
language
I'd say my
is
my
fine.
Chinese is A2. I'll give myself A2 on Chinese, so I said yeah.
Yeah, I actually, because I took Mandarin in high school, my teacher really liked having me in class because I was the like one of two students paying attention. And he at one point said, "Your pronunciation is the best in class, but it's still terrible." And I was like, "Thanks, teach. I appreciate that."
Absolutely savage. Got him.
In my German class, I make fun of my friends for having an American accent when they
Pranked.
speak German.
You say
The
in your
prank.
American accent.
Well, I make more of an effort to pronounce the
Yeah.
German words.
No, I
correctly.
get what you mean.
German with an American accent reminds me of Texan German, like that minority language.
Oh
When I
yeah.
think about German with an American accent, I think of like this one scene in, I think it was Wolfenstein, one of the Wolfenstein games, where a German soldier goes up to two Americans and like German just is like, "How's your German going along?" And they say, good." And he was like, "All right, have a good day." And then the dude went, "Dankeschön."
Oh no.
Or oh,
Dankeschön.
the one scene in Wolfenstein where the main character just kind of laughs nervously and says hot dog in a bad German accent. And the huge Nazi guy was like, "Ha, this is the funniest thing I have heard all year. Go on, sir."
Oh my god. Tragic. Alright, moving on. Did you grow up in a multilingual household? Almost the same.
No.
No, monolingual.
Yep.
No, monolingual. We had a slight increase of yes, bilingual, and about the same. No, it's actually a little more on the yes, 3+ languages. Interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. There's another question I asked about what geographic region, at like where you live in on like the rural to urban axis, and I think that'll probably have a lot to do with in this answer too.
Yeah, probably.
Well. Duh.
Yeah. All right. How many conlangs do you speak to at least a
Here's
basic
my
level?
question: how many people who put that they do speak a conlang to some degree? How many do you think put or was thinking of Tokipona when they said yes?
Probably a pretty significant chunk of people.
Yeah, exactly. Probably a lot of them. A lot of them. I mean, the biggest answer is still 0. Even though
Oh god, that's a pretty big change though.
Yeah.
it is. It is. Look, yeah, that is a big change. Dang.
Well, we have to consider the wording changed, because in the
Yeah,
first
that's
one
true.
it's how many do you speak. In this one, it's
I
how
see.
many do you speak at an elementary level.
That's true. That's true.
And so the elementary level just makes it like a bit easier to say yes to,
Yeah.
because when you're saying, "Oh yeah, I speak this language," it
It's not just-
implies that you're at least conversational. But saying that you speak it at an elementary level, it's like, "Oh yeah, I can talk to a 2-year-old."
Hypothetical 2-year-old speaker of this conlang.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's
So,
not just that it's that. It's also that it's speak or understand. Like, I
Yeah.
don't speak French or Dutch, but I can read French or Dutch reasonably well.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Like
Apparently, Apple Oxide has a problem with the fact that I want to learn Welsh. Why not? It's a cool language.
Welsh
Thank
is
you
cool.
very much.
Welsh is cool.
It's not as nice as Irish, but it's still a country language.
Welsh
I
is
think it's cooler than Irish.
they got
Exclusively on
dragonfly.
account of having a
Old apple
reasonable spelling
oxide
system.
L.
Oh yeah, a reasonable spelling system, Welsh.
Yeah, no, in comparison to fucking Irish,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
very
In
reasonable.
comparison to Irish.
Still, like Welsh,
Yeah,
double
it's
S is F, single
I
F
would
is
argue,
V.
I would argue that Welsh's spelling system is far more reasonable than English's on account of how regular it is.
Well, yes,
And if you
but
take into
then
account the
again,
historical influences that led to the digraphs that exist in Welsh's writing system, it
Oh
makes
God,
perfect
we
sense.
turned on Junos. Out.
I will die on this hill. Welsh has a great
There's
spelling
not much
system.
argument because any language except for maybe Tibetan has a more sensible spelling system than English.
Oh my God, Babalingua joy!
Oh, Babalingua's here.
Ling was here.
And his
You
microphone is
Point
quite
that
loud.
Juno and Ah were yelling at each
Oh, my
other.
microphone's loud?
Don't worry about it. I just fixed you. There you go.
I'm on my headphones because I'm doing my laundry right now. So
Got him.
Hi,
It's not my regular mic.
Babe.
hello.
Babe Lingua.
Da babble.
Babel. I'm currently defending Welsh from these
Yeah.
heathens.
I have done no such attack toward Welsh or like, any protecting of Welsh.
Why are people attacking Welsh?
I don't know.
Well, I mentioned that I wanted to learn Welsh, or I am learning Welsh rather, and someone in the chat was like, "Welsh?" Question mark. How
Welsh
dare
is
you
a
question
cool-ass
my
language,
authority?
okay?
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah, Welsh is
Plus,
awesome.
Tolkien liked it, and he's basically the conlanging god. So
No,
Whoops.
no, the Conlanging god is David J. Peterson.
yeah, there you
how
go.
dare you?
That's right.
Actually,
David,
no, Biblaridian.
Listen. David is a nice guy, but he didn't basically create modern art langs from scratch. All right.
But he created the Jedi
but-
sacred text. the language construction kit or whatever.
Okay, Mark
I
Rosenfelder had 2 language creation tutorial books out
That's
before
true.
the art of language invention
Yeah,
came out.
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Okay, I think Rosenfeld.
Admittedly, I have only read the art of
people-
language invention, but you know.
But think about
I feel like
for the
Rosenfeld
modern
works better as like a
generation-
reference almost.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
his book is very dry.
So as we mentioned previously, there's the Gen Z-ification of conlanging,
Yes.
and like the
Indeed.
Gen Alpha-ification of conlanging.
Indeed.
And so those 2 generations, the conlanger that's the most famous, and the one that they'll probably be introduced to conlanging from, is either going to be a YouTuber like Biblaridian, or David J. Peterson, because his works of conlanging are more modern.
This is fair and correct. I will
Interesting.
agree
But
with you on that.
now, David J. Peterson is the god of the modern generation of conlanging.
that is
In
interesting.
the interest of not arguing, I will agree to these terms.
Well, you
That
don't need to argue because I'm correct.
that could be a whole separate discussion for
Spiteful
another.
God.
Or Nif Nuff says Babalingua doing his Babel laundry. Got him.
Babel laundry.
That's right, the Babel laundry. All right. Anyway,
Well-
let us move on. Okay. Here's. Oh God. How many?
Oh, I'm sorry. I absolutely went ballistic on Apple Oxide for no reason. My bad.
Hang on. let
And
me...
to answer your question, no, I'm not fluent in Welsh. I am learning Welsh. I'm at an elementary level with it.
Oh, this.
GG.
Oh, I didn't have this question in last year either. So this is a new one right here. How many natural scripts, alphabets, logographies, abjads, etc., can you write by memory? And so we got pretty interestingly split results here. 29.9% can write just one by memory, and 70% basically can speak at least write at least 2.
I figured it would be a lot more skewed towards 1,
Yeah.
or maybe
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like considering the dominance of the Latin alphabet.
Yeah.
And considering the dominance of monolingual speakers.
That too.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
But I guess like there are a lot of people who might happen to know the Greek or Cyrillic alphabet
Yeah, that's true.
from
Plus, if you're like a younger conlanger, learning to write in a new writing system is kind of like a dipping your toes in exercise.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I know ever since high school, I've been able to write, obviously, the Latin alphabet, Cyrillic, Mongolian, so 3. Yeah, 3. And I guess I can understand Greek, but I don't really write Greek, but I can kind of read Greek. So I think I put myself on 3.
Yes.
I could probably figure out what Cyrillic and Greek were, but I could not do either from memory. I could do a few letters from memory.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Me, it's obviously Latin alphabet, but also Futhag runes and Greek. And actually, I know the Greek alphabet fairly well. I've done some ancient Greek at uni and all of that. And even well before that, I just learned the Greek alphabet because I thought it was fun.
How many
In
people put
order, I
four?
can find words in the dictionary because I know the order because it's different
How
from
much?
Latin.
How much do you guys want to bet that out of the 174 people that selected 4, some of them were the 119 people who are learning Japanese or speak Japanese?
Yeah,
that's a
you're
good
learning
point.
Japanese like 3 scripts and then
That's true. That's true. Japanese,
Yeah.
you could just put 3 down.
I would consider Japanese's writing systems to be deeply unreasonable.
Yeah. Cursed, some might even say.
Yes,
Not bad.
I
like
appreciate the cultural import that they have, but Jesus Christ, man, why you need 4 of them?
Juno.
Makes sense.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That
If
weird.
I extend the same fairness that I do to Welsh's writing system to Japanese's writing systems, then it's fair and it makes sense.
Conlang has like 4 writing systems by pure accident. It's 'cause
That weird
it's-
kid in chat asked Juno a question.
What's up?
Juno, do you know how to pronounce the name of that Go town?
The giant one.
I do not.
Anvar.
So Silver Fox
Yeah,
just
I-
posted it.
More or less, Canvar push Gwynglish go get Huern Drobble Chanticilio go.
Oh God,
Ah, got it.
that was pretty close.
Not the
Dang.
only one who's tried learning Welsh before.
True.
Dang. Impressive.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's just a lot of letters to remember, so I simply do not.
There you go.
Yeah.
I choose not to.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
Let's go on to conscripts.
Yeah, another new question. How many conscripts can you
Mostly
write by memory?
0.
Mostly 0. I can do 1. The auto-tune script.
I bet a lot of them are people who learned Tokipona as well.
What, like Citelin Pona?
Okay,
Yeah,
as much
'cause
as I
like-
dislike Tokiponis, the Citelin script is very cool.
It is very aesthetic. I like it.
I thought it was pronounced Citolane.
So it's Tokipona
Yeah,
you
but-
dislike or Tokipona fanboys?
Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough.
To be fair, though, I definitely am more annoyed by Tokipona fanboys, but this is true of many fanboys of many languages.
This is true. This is true. So,
Yeah.
only 18 people can specifically write 4 conscripts, but then 5 plus is 1.9%.
I actually forgot how I answered this one.
I answered 1. I've got 1.
I'm
Like
pretty
the,
sure I answered 0, but I should have 1. No, I'm
Yeah,
figuring
for me,
that
it's
off the top
somewhere
of
in
my
the
head.
2 to 3 range.
Oh, nice.
I like making conscripts. I have more conscripts than I have languages.
Interesting.
Of course, I only know how to read and write by heart a couple of them,
Yeah.
just because I'm overly fond of making stupidly complicated writing systems.
I think I
Like the
answered
writing
0
system I made
this.
for Dovizul, I cannot do by memory because there are like 300 characters in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
But-
sense.
I have a conscript based on music notation that I made once 4 years ago now that I can still kind of write from memory, but also it was kind of really easily designed to be able to be written from memory.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Here's a philosophical question regarding this though.
Oh God.
So like, it's not actually that philosophical. I'm being silly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like the like cipher scripts that get made for movies a lot, like the Atlantean one in the Disney Atlantis movie, or like Aurebesh from Star Wars or whatever.
Or Matoran from Bionicle.
Yeah, or Matoran from Bionicle. Do these count in your opinion? Because when I answered, did not count them.
I would count them. They're scripts. They're constructed
Would
scripts.
count them there,
Yeah.
Conscripts.
Yeah.
Because
I
that
would
would put
not
me above
count
5
them.
plus.
I personally would not count them because this is specifically talking about conlanging.
Well, this question in
And
particular,
If
though.
Looks
I
like
were
I'm-
answering it with
Looks like I'm
those
hopping off
languages
after all.
in mind,
See ya.
Oh, see ya, babbling.
Yeah.
I babbling.
Got him.
Me personally, I would answer as though those did not count if I were taking.
Yeah, that was how I
Yeah.
answered as well.
Yeah, me too. But I guess hypothetically you could. You know, there's.
Yeah.
I would allow it. You know.
Yeah.
Like I guess I could also include the freaking Club Penguin Elite Penguin Force code, by that logic too.
Enchanting table language.
Yeah, enchanting table. Like so I could if I included all those, mine would also go to the 5+ range. But for conlangs, conscripts, just one. Yeah. All right, ready to move
Which
on?
one, actually? I thought it was 2.
Hang on a second. Let me. There we go. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna-
linguaphiliacs, I would count that personally.
Let's see. Okay. With what hands do you write? The number of right-handed
well.
actually went up. I mean, like the percent of right-handed actually went up. Left-handed went from 14% to 11.8% with the new influx of people.
Try.
So,
This is tragic.
You guys do this to me.
This is tragic. I am right-handed, gang, but I was hoping for like a statistically larger amount of left-handed. But no.
I'm expecting a left-hand sweep for the 2023.
Go recruit specifically left-handed people
I'm
into the
gonna
conlanging community.
Find every left-hander I know and turn them forcibly into conlang.
When I was a kid, actually,
going
I could,
about this the wrong way, you gotta take conlang as in make them left-handed.
Oh,
That's
no.
easier.
that would be easier,
You're
I
right.
guess.
yeah.
Hold
when
on,
I'm-
Agma.
So I
I'm
guess that
putting
would
your
mostly
right hand.
serve to grow the yellow section there.
That's true, but still, they're honorary left-handers.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Guys,
Honorary. What'd you
When
say,
I was a kid,
Juno?
actually, when I was a kid, I could write with both hands because I was fully ambidextrous.
Oh.
However, my first grade teacher would smack my hand with a ruler whenever I wrote with my left hand.
Are you serious? That's like the thing that
What?
actually happened during our era? Jeez.
Yes, 100% not kidding.
Oh my god.
Um,
I thought
yeah.
that like died in the 60s. Jeez.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and mind you, that teacher was like old as balls, so I'm assuming it was just muscle memory for her at that point. But yeah, like I said, I used to be able to do it with my left hand, but she was not a fan of that. It was improper in her eyes.
Wow.
Left-handers are truly the most oppressed race.
because left hand in Latin means sinister, and we can't have sinister things in our schools.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's a pun because...
I was
Since they're
actually
in
trying to regain the skill a couple years ago, but since I have injured my hand, I now literally cannot do it with my left hand.
No.
I don't have enough manual dexterity in it anymore.
Latin.
Wow.
Yeah, I also can't do things like use chopsticks with my left hand or hold a knife properly with my left hand. It sucks.
Dang.
I
Interesting.
can't-
I used to
do
be much more
shit with my right
ambidextrous than
hand.
I am now.
I
Literally,
don't know if you... if you know enough Latin to realize that, but you actually made a pun there when you said left hand being left-handed is sinister, because in Latin, sinister means left.
No, that's the joke I was making. I was like,
Yeah.
we can't have anything sinister in our schools, but
Yeah.
Latin. Scorpio Martianus is laughing to the ground right now. Got him. Anyway, next question. Do you play any musical instruments? Let's see how this has changed in the past
I
year.
spoke a lot with sinister now, as someone said.
Uh-huh.
I used to sing. I don't know if I would count that now though. I don't even remember which I put for this one.
We got the rate of yes multiple went up significantly, but that just could be because I allowed counting singing as an instrument on here this time.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know if we could call that crazy different. We'll have to wait until
Also,
next year.
Also like 3%, so that's not that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But still, it is a majority of conlangers are also musicians. So that's what I was looking to see, and I was proven right. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
I answered yes multiple specifically because I used to do a lot of singing because I was in drama club. Although the actual instrument I play is trumpet.
There you go.
My dad plays like 6 instruments though. It's wild.
I also play like 6 instruments. My main instrument, as Space Dirt would know, was clarinet throughout my entire childhood. And then
You have very clarinet energy.
I do.
Yeah.
But then I also added trumpet onto that, and then I gained some of that trumpet energy. And then trombone, bass guitar, keyboard, and vocals. I have a second channel called the Velar Nasal that's like currently exclusively like my background music songs and stuff. So go search up the Velar Nasal and subscribe to that if you haven't yet, audience. Got him.
Link to that.
Yeah, my dad plays trumpet, trombone, saxophone, French horn, guitar, bass guitar, and drums.
Nice.
He's a terrible singer though.
Well, he's got all the other ones. He'll be fine in a band.
I hate to sidetrack back to an earlier part of the conversation, but I just found a chart that not a chart, it's a map of the United States, and it's the geography of left-handedness. Percent of white residents born after 1950 who are left-handed.
Oh,
Interesting.
hang on. Let me pull it up onto the big
Hold
screen.
on, I
real
gotta
quick.
No,
There you
that's
go.
not it. This I just sent it.
Oh, there
That's
we
a
go.
different thing.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Why is this so high in New England?
New England's the land of the devil. What can I say?
There you go.
To me,
Witchcraft.
particularly helpful because I can't tell what any of these are. I know Florida is the thing on the bottom right. I know what Texas is more or less, but that's the extent of my knowledge. Arizona is somewhere in the west.
Arizona's like average.
Right.
But then
I
Maine...
just said right there and pointed with my cursor as though you could see.
It's right there, obviously.
Let me help you out. It's right there.
Right there, yeah.
That's
Don't mind
that's
me,
weird
I'm
though.
just a great fool.
Got him. All right. Anyway.
Over Arizona, I'd need to see like a map of like average rainfall like throughout the year. Then I'd be able to tell where it is.
Because there'd just be like a big black spot where the average
Now,
rainfall is
typically they're
0.
marked like in like some sort of very dry and arid yellow.
Okay.
I see.
Okay. Anyway. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Coding. Do you know any coding or programming languages? So,
I will be right back.
got him. So the amount went up since last time. It used to be 54.5% no. Now it's only 50.7% no. So there are almost half of all conlangers, almost half, are also programmers, at least to a certain extent.
What did you actually answer here?
I mean, I do know like what you've taught me, and also the little bit of HTML from that one HTML class that I put. But I think, like, just to be honest, I still put no.
I I'm pretty sure I put yes one. However, arguably I could put yes multiple.
Yeah.
I put yes multiple because obviously.
Well, you're a nerd.
You
Kids.
made 50 conlangs.
Okay. And just because I made 50 conlangs, you've made like
Definitely
50
not a nerdy thing to do to make 50 conlangs.
You've made like 50 billion lines of code or something, nerd.
Well, that would be a bit too much.
That's called hyperbole, my friend.
Got him.
Mm.
All right.
My 50 conlangs was not hyperbole.
Yeah, I know. That was an exact number, which has only gone up. Not that much though. I haven't conlanged in the past few years.
Wait, Eternal, how many coding or programming languages would you say that you know?
Do I know, like, just more or less or proficiently?
Like enough to be able to.
Enough to answer yes on this question.
That's not. Okay, fine. I'll list the ones that I'll answer both. Okay, proficiently C++, obviously C. Those two mostly. After that, JavaScript and TypeScript to like a sort of upper intermediate level. Though, yeah, I'd count them as 1.5 language because TypeScript is really just on top of JavaScript, really. If you count shell scripts, then I suppose those two, but that's not much of a programming language. What else is there? I know some C#, but I haven't programmed in C# for a while. I know Java, unfortunately. I've had to program in code recently. That was not a nice experience.
What about Python?
I refuse to write Python. I don't know Python.
No.
Tragic. So just a lot. That's you're at like 8 right now.
If you count that, yeah.
Jeez.
When I briefly went to community college, I was one of my assigned classes was a Python class. I literally only went to the first day of it.
My computer science class that I'm taking this year in high school, it focuses on Python.
Nice.
But one of my games that I've made used the game engine called Game Maker Studio 2, and it has a language called the Game Maker language, which I believe is largely inspired by C. Might be
90% of languages are largely inspired by C, so that's that.
Yeah.
I think Kit Storm here makes a good point. Nut also has xylophone marimba energy.
I have this little bell thingy here. Does that count? There's my xylophone marimba energy right there from my. I forgot what it was called. The circular mini bell hit with stick thing. There you go. Anyway.
Good name for an instrument.
yeah, good name for an instrument for sure. Have we gotten to the country of origin question yet? Not yet, which is surprising. I'm sure it's coming soon.
So no.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. What are your favorite subjects in school? Select all the subjects you actually enjoy. Leave subjects you dislike blank. So foreign languages still got the lead.
I wonder why.
History still got second place. Language arts, including rhetoric, grammar, and linguistics, got third. What a shock. Mathematics, basic through algebra, got fourth. Art got fifth. Interesting. I mean, nothing has changed since last year. It literally hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just everything previous, but doubled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even like if you look at the graphs side by side, they look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much the same. Not much to say there. It makes total sense why all of these were selected and why health and PE are at the bottom.
Yeah.
God, I hated PE so much. Not to be a stereotype, but oof, I did not like that class.
I took PE online twice.
Why do you
'cause
take
I failed
PE
the class.
online?
You have a Fitbit,
Ow!
and then the Fitbit can
What?
measure your exercises, and then you can send screenshots of the app measure the exercise and then send it to your PE teacher.
Okay, I would have
This
enjoyed
sentence
that a
has
lot
turned
more.
me into a boomer.
I would have loved
I-
taking
Yeah,
PE if
oh,
that was how
jeez.
it was. Just like go take a hike and record that you burn calories. I would be so happy
Yeah,
with
pretty
that.
much that.
That
But
would have been
also, there's
awesome.
the education part of it, so we do the
Yeah.
education part
Yeah,
too.
who needs education? All right, here we go. Geographic region. Woo! It actually got more North America than last time. All right, it
What a
is
surprise.
50%, straight 50% Northern America, which we use.
Literally half of all conlangers.
Yeah, are in North
Yeah,
America.
it's totally the entirety of conlanging.
There you go. Which I think on the UN map, because I know some people like in the suggestions are like, why are the regions split up this way? This is the map that the United Nations puts out for world geographic regions, and we figured that would be like a relatively unbiased way of just displaying geographic regions. So
Yeah.
Northern America in this one doesn't include Mexico. I think it's literally just the US and Canada.
Wait, what?
I think so.
Wild.
Yeah,
Central
That
America.
feels very incorrect to me.
it does, but that's what the UN says. I think it puts
Okay.
Mexico in Central America, as far as I remember. But
Weird.
yeah, but there you go.
Seems that Europe is like 30% overall, it seems.
Northern Europe is 10.5%, Western Europe is 10.7%, Eastern Europe is 7%. So yeah, basically like 28% is Europe.
At the like
Pretty
light
much
green.
30.
Oh, don't forget,
wow.
don't forget Southern Europe. Okay, so yeah, 30. It's 30% Europe. We got 5% Australia and New Zealand.
Gross.
3.6% South America. 2.5% Western Asia, which is like Turkey, Iraq, stuff like that.
I like how it's Northern America, but South America.
Yeah, that's weird,
rather
isn't
than
it?
Southern.
And then Southern Asia too.
Well, I guess, if Northern America doesn't include Mexico, that makes sense. Whereas South America includes the whole continent.
I
That's
see.
probably it. Yeah. So Southern Africa is the smallest one with only 0.2%.
People.
Oh wait, there might be
Not
a
even
smaller one
percent,
over
three.
here. Nope. No, the Caribbean's slightly more, and then Central America is also pretty tiny.
Yeah, it's not that surprising.
All right, and now for the America question: what state do you live in? Again, not super surprising. It looks relatively similar to last time.
There's a lean toward California and that other state.
Washington. That actually is kind of interesting how Washington got second place.
Weird.
Oh
What
wait,
state has like the inhabitants?
California.
That would be Texas and California.
Yeah, so Texas.
Okay.
So the two largest states, population-wise, are two of the top three.
Yeah. Then
States.
then you have Washington and New York. New York is the third most populous state. It looks like there's a slant towards Washington. I don't think Washington is
Um,
that much of a percent of the country, is it?
I don't believe so.
It doesn't.
I don't
It
think
doesn't
so.
have very many electoral votes. I thought Washington, the state, had like 12 electoral votes total. So it can't be that. I think it might have a slant on this.
Maybe there are just a lot of people from Washington. Maybe
Yeah.
there's like a group of people that just kind of hang out and watch this channel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can think of a few, but yeah. So, Florida, that makes
How
sense.
many Georgians we got?
Oh God, let's see where Georgia is on here. Oh, past it. Georgia is that one. Georgia
It's
is
next to Florida.
3.2%.
27 people. Where are you guys?
Arizona's pretty small. Arizona is only 14 of us Arizonans here.
I wonder how
Huh.
many of
Yeah, I mean,
Two of the Georgians
yeah.
are me and Benny.
That's true.
what about Ohioans? How many Ohioans are there?
Ohio? Let's see, where's our Ohio on here? Come
Oh
on.
God, Ohio.
Ohio is 35.
Whoa.
4.1.
Gross.
A little bit more than I was expecting, to be honest.
How about a really
Let's
tiny
do a
one, like
minute.
Rhode Island? Rhode Island, there are 6 people from Rhode Island. But compared to how Arizona only
What are
has
the-
14, that's really sad for Arizona.
What
Arizona
are
has
the
way more
odds
people
that
than Rhode
those
Island.
people in Rhode Island know each other? Because Rhode Island's tiny. It's
Yeah.
like 2 inches wide.
Yeah, Rhode Island is like 2 towns and mostly water.
Yeah.
They probably do know each other. Anyway, any other states like Michigan? The only thing that stands out to
How
me
many
is
are
Washington.
Michigan?
A lot of the states
28.
are very
Ah, we have Ohio has them beat.
Yep.
Take that.
Revenge for the Toledo War.
Exactly.
ha,
Got him. But yeah,
And that's a story for another day.
exactly. Yeah, Washington's the only one that seems interesting to me on this.
yeah.
Also, Arizona is underrepresented if we look at the Rhode Island to Arizona comparison, in my humble opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Here's the new question. Do you reside in a more urban or rural locale? So our choices are rural, urban, and suburban, or somewhere in between. And suburban
guess it
gets the
makes
vast
sense
plurality.
Rural would be not that much because, you know, if you're rural, it's kind of hard to be chronically online.
That is
And-
potentially true, yeah.
Again, I
I
feel
don't
like
know about that
with census,
necessarily.
it's very much. The census is
Do
very
you
much
think just
for
because we live out in the
chronically
boonies means we don't have routers?
Yeah. That's exactly what I think.
In Arizona,
I
the
mean,
town
say
of...
we. I now live in LA, so I cannot speak for my rural people anymore.
Got him. In Arizona, the town of Gisela just got internet like 3 years ago for the first time. And they're
Rip
they're
town of
very
Gisela.
rural.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying no rural livers.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no rural livers.
Rural is a
Have
terrible
routers.
word.
It really
Rural,
is.
Yeah, it
rural,
is.
rural, yeah.
But I'm saying that being in a rural area means you're more likely to not have access to internet or stuff like that.
The
This is fair.
yeah, I just think it's interesting how high suburban is, you know? I mean, I think it makes sense.
I mean, the suburban boom of the 60s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a lot of people. Oh yeah, the main. I was gonna just say the main road in Tempe, like where Arizona State University is called Rural Road, and it's the most painful thing to try and pronounce, or like trying to say to the Uber driver, like,
Hey,
yeah, it's
guys."
on Rural Road, or rural
Yeah.
road.
Long, drawn out R sound.
Rural. It's on
When I
rural.
pronounce it out loud, it just rural and rural tend to be like homophones.
Wait,
I just have deleted that middle R there.
Carm
Rural.
Sparse says Arizona gang. Are you seriously one of the 14 Arizonans? Hi.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah. Anyway.
Oh,
Ahem.
hey, someone asked us to check Wyoming
Oh, check
on the states.
Wyoming.
We gotta see.
Yeah.
We
Let's-
gotta see.
Wyoming is not on here at all. There are 0 people from Wyoming who are in our community.
This makes sense. No one lives in Wyoming.
There is, and then Washington D.C. has. Oh wait, no, there is 1 Wyoming. There we go. One Wyoming,
One Wyoming.
and then 5 Washington
is that
D.C.
weird kid the only Wyoming person?
Dang. How about the U.S. territories? Anybody?
Yeah,
looks
looks
wait.
like there is.
There's 1 from the territories and outlying
One.
regions. I hope
The
it's
U.S. territories and outlying regions are tied.
with Wyoming. It is crazy how Wyoming exists as a state. Anyway.
Guam and Wyoming.
How
It's-
Wyoming exists. Full stop.
It's the big rectangle of nothingness. Just
That is
Well, I mean, yeah,
true.
basically, the
can
only
say that
reason
about
Wyoming had a big
Iowa.
population boom back in the 50s was because of the Western coalfield mine explosion. And that's basically dried up, so most people who lived in Wyoming have moved to either Colorado or California.
Interesting.
Oh, someone said that a possible reason why there's so many Washington people is because the state's weather is so depressing that they stay inside half the year, so they might as well conlang.
Yeah, I mean, if Ciro's number is correct, saying Washington only has 2.3% of the population, but 6% of the conlangers in America, that is pretty statistically significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to this next one here. Let me see if I can. Oh, this one is kind of this is a new one based on this one, so we can't really compare them to each other. So between conlanging and world building, which activity do you engage in more often? So we have I only do world building is the tiny one.
That makes sense.
Right.
That would be there.
Yeah. Then significantly more world building is 22.7%, which is actually higher than I only do conlanging, which. I mean, a lot of people are doing it for stories and stuff, so I guess that makes sense. Then it's about even is 26%. Significantly more conlanging is the plurality here with 35.9%. So, very cool. And then I only do world building, and then NA is I wanted to make this question required, so I had to include an NA on there for the people who don't do any of it, which is 68 of them, which is interesting.
Aw, man, it could have been 69.
So close. So close.
Almost.
Yeah. So, I mean, this makes sense. I just find it interesting that only conlanging is less than significantly more world building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I answered I only do world building.
Oh, dang.
Mildly jokingly, mildly seriously.
I think
like,
I put NA actually.
Because I haven't done any conlanging in like a year and a half now, something like that. Like
yeah,
I
guess
basically
that makes sense.
Yeah, like I haven't done any conlanging since I was last working on the an episode of Ret Conlang, and I've, fully abandoned that project, so
Yeah,
that barely even counts in and of itself.
got him. Yeah, we had a request to check the Kentucky number. It's 6 total, 0.7%. And then also a request to check Iowa's number. Iowa is this one here, which is 9 at 1.1%. There you go. Enjoy that.
Apparently Linguaphiliacs is Australian.
Australians, they made up it was like 5-ish%. Nice.
Something like that.
All right, anyway, let us go on to this next question, which is also new. For your personal purposes, which do you value more, conlanging or world building? So I think that's how I split this question into multiple questions here. So we have 34.7% conlanging. We have a big plurality on they're equally important to me, and then 20% just for world building. So that's interesting. I mean, it makes sense because you're building the language to go into a world most of the time. So, yeah. I just wanted to have some data proof of that.
Yeah. I would argue personally that, conlanging without world building, at least in the terms of, art languages, is kind of empty. Not to, preach my inner Tolkien here, but, language touches all aspects of, our lived experience as people. And if you make a language that doesn't touch those aspects of being an alive person, it can kind of feel empty and hollow.
Well, the art langs can take from the experience of the artist rather than a fictional world. So, a personal art lang would exist for the enjoyment of the artist without any need for world building.
That's fair.
Hey, Guys, Quackfu says that they're the one who's from Wyoming. The one from
Oh my
Wyoming.
god, we found
If
the
that's
Wyoming.
true, that's legendary. You're from
What
the
is
empty
person from
rectangle.
Wyoming called? Is it
The
Wyoming?
Wyoming.
Wyoming?
Wyoming. Wyoming. You're a
Wyoming.
you're a Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Oh yeah, that should be it. I don't know if it is, but it should be. All right, next question.
What? Like,
Wait, what?
what does Wyoming even mean? Like, as a word?
It means the state of Wyoming.
Got him.
It means this weird
Okay.
rectangle located in the Midwestern Midwestern United States that has a population of 12 people and 2 escalators.
Got him. I mean, yeah, that's pretty fair. I don't know what language the word
that's-
Wyoming came from.
That's weird. Apparently, it actually comes from Lenape, which is a coastal Algonquian language. It means a big river flat.
Oh,
And
they're,
Can we
it initially
appreciate-
referred to a place in Pennsylvania, but the word was repurposed.
huh.
Can we appreciate how the word looks to be Waywamunk?
What?
What?
Personally,
Derived from the Lenape language Munsey word Waywamunk.
Oh,
personally, I don't go to attempt pronouncing words from indigenous American languages without having the pronunciation guide on hand.
yeah, because it gets pretty.
Well, I
It gets
saw
wild.
the schwa and the colon, so I assumed it was IPA.
Not always.
It might
Not
be,
always.
but you don't know.
Yeah.
There are some,
Yeah.
especially because the romanizations are often created by linguists,
Yeah. So that might have been
and
based
are
on IPA.
therefore ugly as hell.
Yeah. People are really into the geography one. Someone wants to check West Virginia real quick. Okay, we'll look at we'll look
I
at
think
West
what
Virginia.
it is due to the
Oh.
delay of the
4.
stream. Every time someone sees it, they want to see what state they're from,
That's probably true.
and then
That's probably
it-
true.
we keep
Vandalia,
on going,
that
and then the
sounds
delay
familiar.
catches up to them seeing it.
Rest
and
in
they
peace.
go and look again.
Where have I heard of Vandalia before?
Question: if there's a West Virginia, is there an East Virginia, or how does that work?
No, just
So
a
what happened
normal
was,
Virginia.
In the Civil War, Virginia
I
wanted
see.
to join the Confederacy, but a bunch of the counties in Western Virginia did not, and they were like, "Hey, Congress of the United States, can we leave Virginia?" And Congress of the United States was like, "Yeah, sure."
I see.
Yeah, pretty
Technically
much.
speaking, this was actually illegal for them to do.
Yeah, it was. But the way they justified it was they said that the area that became West Virginia was actually the legitimate government of regular Virginia. They said this isn't a
Yeah.
new state. This is original Virginia, just the part of it that's
Yeah.
still loyal. And then after
then
the
during
war ended,
Reconstruction-
yeah, then they made it
Yeah.
official. Like, okay, yeah, these are 2 new states that exist now. Boom, deal with it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
Old Virginia became West Virginia, and then they got a new Virginian state
Exactly.
that became Virginia.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
It's
Canonically.
slightly complicated, but not too much.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it.
It's mostly only complicated because of the legal bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question. Between conlanging content and world building content, which do you consume more often online? Now, this one isn't too much of a
Conlanging
surprise,
content.
considering most of these people are my and Biblaridians and Babblinguist subscribers. So, conlanging content got 60%, then both about
Yeah.
equally, and then world building. Yeah, so that makes sense. But hey, there is still 13% of a market for me to engage on. I'm doing a lot of world building stuff this year. We'll see.
I want to interject for a moment. We are 1.5 as in, and if you look at the scroll bar, we're
Oh,
not
God.
even halfway done.
Oh God, you're right.
Oh man.
All right,
So I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get this done today. Just so you know.
we can. Let's just try and quicken our side conversations.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
A lot of these
Let's
questions
not
are
talk
new
about
too.
left-handedness for half an hour.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, next question. Again, this isn't surprising. Next question. What type of
We
media?
got this on the left too.
Yep, this one is in the last one as well. Media. What type of media
It's right
introduced
there.
you to conlanging? So, not much
Okay,
change
well,
here. Pretty
Not
much
much
the
to
same.
say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we got a slight increase from social media, but I guess, you know, YouTube is on there, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think the increase of social media has to do with, again, the Gen Z-ification and Gen Alpha-ification of conlanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are more people in the modern era who are just watching YouTube all the time and stumble upon it.
Pretty much. And you can see where it subtracted from. It took away from novels. Novels went from 17% to 14%. And most of that looks like it bled directly into social media. So that's just conlang is becoming
again,
younger.
Gen Alpha can't read books, can't concentrate that long.
Got him.
Personally, I answered other.
I answered YouTube.
I said none. Because I did make a conlang before I had any idea that there was a whole thing on the internet for it. So
Yeah.
Much, yeah.
yeah.
I learned about the concept from the video game Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Specifically in one of the DLCs, there are a few extremely terrible conlangs featured.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got
In
him.
the interest of being quick, though, let us move on.
Yeah, exactly. This pretty much the same. Less readers. All right. Through what platforms do you engage with the conlang community?
This is basically the same.
Pretty much
once
the same.
again.
Yeah, not very many differences. Though a couple people on the Slack chat in the Language Construction Society said, "How could you have a platform engagement part without including newsletters?" So I included newsletters, and I got a solid 9, 0.5%. So that's why I didn't include it last time. I didn't know there were conlang newsletters.
I would like to point out,
Well, or something. If you have newsletters on there.
Yeah.
Tumblr has edged out Twitter
Oh wow.
and Instagram.
Oh
Oh.
wow. That's interesting. Tumblr's like coming back, isn't it? Interesting.
Yeah,
I
so
think
there's
we're
been a
gonna
pretty
see even less Twitter in this coming year.
probably, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, there's not much else to say.
Yeah,
about
not much
that.
else on that one. All right. How do you consider your proficiency in linguistics? So this is also rather similar. The amateur but well Wikipedia went down a little bit, but other than that, there's not really too much difference. You know, we got 18 people whose
Yeah.
profession is within linguistics, and I made that a separate category from just having a degree in linguistics. So there are 50 people who have a degree in linguistics but aren't linguists, which includes me. I'm in that one. And then my profession is within linguistics got 18. So interesting. That's probably the most interesting thing on here compared to last year.
Here's
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
If you are a conlanging YouTuber who has managed to make enough money for it to be your job, does that count as your profession being in linguistics?
I will say yes, and I really hope that Bibloridian put that as his, because I'd say
Yeah,
it counts. I really hope he did.
The only reason I ask, because like we are referring to literally like 3 people
Yeah.
with that question.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But yeah, you know, I hope he did. I hope he did, because if I get to the point where I could like sustain myself on being a language related YouTuber, then I'm totally gonna put that. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm definitely.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a huge achievement.
It is. So I would totally extrapolate the logic to that point. So I hope Bibloridian did. Anyway, next question. This is a new one. What is your proficiency in reading and/or writing phonetics with the IPA? So this is an interesting one. So big one right here is I can read or write IPA with visual assistance for rarer sounds. That got almost half.
Visual assistance.
Like
Would it
look
be
like having a chart open on your computer, like while you're
Oh, I see. I thought I would have thought listening to how they're pronounced would be more. But yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I bet most of the people who picked by memory didn't read the for rarer sounds things. Because I picked by memory, and then I changed it to for rarer sounds assistance.
Yeah.
Because I counted XIPA with that.
Yeah. I put the red one. I put the with visual assistance because there are
But I think
occasionally
there's very few.
yeah.
Maybe Suki.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
feel like Suki.
Yeah.
But
Like ingressives, I don't know the ingressives by heart.
How many conlangers don't know what the IPA is?
The regular sounds with the hook.
Oh yeah, we have 14 people didn't know what the IPA was.
Shake my head.
0.7%. That's interesting.
Wonder-
I didn't
Educate
count the
yourselves.
XIPA because it's who have used the XIPA, honestly.
Well, they know now that they probably were like, "What the heck is an IPA?" and hopefully looked it up, and now they know.
Well, no, if they looked it up, they would have seen Indian Pale Ale.
Okay. Well, hopefully they copy and pasted International Phonetic Alphabet or were able to distinguish.
Hopefully
Actually,
they figured out eventually.
I remember at one point I was explaining to some family members what the IPA was, and my one uncle, who's like a complete beer snob, made a very bad joke about India Pale Ale. In his
Oh,
defense, he was already drunk when this happened, but still, it was a bad joke.
rest in peace.
I see.
Rest in peace. All right, here's another new question. Do you consider yourself an active member of the Conlang community? And we got 72.9% say I lurk but don't often
Yeah.
participate.
That's me.
There you go. That's like the 80-20 rule right there. And then we got 20% yes, and then 7.9% straight up saying no. Which, like, how did you get this survey if you don't even...
Yeah.
You have to be lurking to find
newsletter.
it. Yeah, the newsletter.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess it depends on how you define active member.
Yeah,
Suppose, yeah.
yeah.
Not sure if I would consider myself an active member.
I guess I distinguished it between lurking but not often participating and yes participating. The people who talk on Discord and the people who join but just kind of listen. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that
Lurkers of the world unite.
yeah, it's it adds up to it
The silent majority.
yeah, literally the silent
Literally.
majority. Got him.
Oh,
We
man.
have from Lord Big Daddy Funky Chunky says, what exactly was meant by language nerd? Back on like the linguistics proficiency.
If you are a language nerd, you know what that means.
yeah, if you study languages in your free time, to any extent, if that's how you find joy, then you are a language nerd. If you know how to talk about a language that you looked up online, then you're a language nerd. All right, now we're on to the aspects of the Conlang section, page 2, an hour and 43 minutes in.
Woot woot.
Yee. Okay, how many Conlangs have you worked on, whether you finished or not? There's one of these from last year. There we go. So, it has not changed much at all. Yeah.
I'm the 50 plus.
Is there a different amount of choices on this one than the previous? Oh, I distinguished 2 to 5 from...
20.
Yeah, there you
10
go.
to 20, 20 to 50.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
More people have finished more Conlangs, and now they're in the 10 to 50 range.
Yeah, exactly. 72 people said 50 plus. So
That was in there. That
Yep.
was in there.
I guess that makes sense because it's whether you finished
that
or
was-
not. Just any ideas that you've begun to work on.
Yeah, I've only finished like 2.
I wouldn't consider any of my conlangs to be finished, but that's also
Yeah.
because I have hoity-toity ideas about what it means to finish a conlang.
Yeah, well, that's where the next question comes in. How many Conlang projects have you completed to your satisfaction? Which 0 is the vast majority.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. And then 1, and then 2 to 5, and then 6 to 10, and then literally everything else is mashed into
I
this
suppose-
tiny majority.
Unless you count stuff like Hyperpirate and Santa for me, in which case, yeah, those
would
were
count
pretty
that.
satisfactory.
Yeah, I would count that. I think I put myself in the
I mean,
6
I
to
would
10
count them.
category.
They
Yeah.
they fulfill their purpose.
Yeah.
It's true.
I would be in the 2 to 5 range.
Making Agma's throat out pretty well.
Exactly. You just causing me damage. That's the satisfaction level right there.
Yeah.
Sadistic. All right, here's a new question. For what reasons have you made conlangs, conscripts, or other constructed linguistic ideas in your lifetime, like ever? So for my own personal enjoyment, got 93.8, and then for my friends, whether for D&D roleplay or for other purposes, got third. What's second? Oh, second is for stories, novels, or other textual entertainment that I'm writing. So that makes sense.
What?
Stories.
Can you like on a bit?
Yeah, and then it just goes on to people adding in their custom ones because I forgot to get rid of that option. Yeah,
Can you scroll down a bit? I'm pretty sure I answered something there, but I don't remember what I answered.
oh, there sure
I've
is
actually done a conscript on commission before.
Hold on, who put for religious reasons?
interesting.
Bitches out here making Bilibon and lingua ignota.
Yeah, it's a personal religious language. I could see it.
I think
Dang.
To help me improve what?
with this,
Wait, where? To help me improve my language knowledge and by extent to learn new languages easier. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, okay,
what
that's
is
the
the
reasoning.
I haven't yet?
Interesting.
Huh. Wait, where's I haven't yet? Wait, oh. Okay, well.
Oh, they haven't made a conlang yet.
Okay, and then other, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
37 did it as a paid commission.
Of causing Agmashwa pain somewhere on one of these questions.
I'm sure you
I
did.
don't remember.
There should be an option for fun, or for a joke, for the next one.
I thought I did, but I guess not. 10% of people said for potential real-world usage, such as improving international communication. That's interesting.
Oxlangers.
Yeah,
And
oxlangers.
oxlangers.
10% of the conlangers are oxlangers here.
The
Okay.
conscript I made for money was so weird. I posted a picture of it in the chat here.
Oh, God,
But
let's see.
they basically were like, I would like a script that has the visual aesthetic of Hebrew and is descended from the Phoenician Abjad, but which is not Hebrew.
Huh.
It
Oh,
took me a fucking while, to be honest with you.
that's strange, but it looks cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The most fun part of the project, though, was taking some cuneiform characters and turning them into determinatives that have the same visual aesthetic.
Oh. Oh, that is pretty cool. I like
That is
you.
cool.
that. That is aesthetic right there. I like that. And those
Yeah,
are
no, I was
based
really
on like
proud of them.
actual cuneiform.
Yeah, I actually, give me a second, I can show you a little bit of what the process for that was like. It was interesting, because I had to make like brushstroke cursive forms of cuneiform first, and then like Hebrewize them, for want of a better word.
Huh.
So here are some examples of that.
Oh my.
Yeah, it took a while, but it was very satisfying. I enjoyed it a lot.
Interesting. That's cool.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's move on. But
Yeah,
that is
moving
very
on.
that is very cool though. Aesthetic. All right. Okay, here's another new question. Have you ever created a language communicated by means other than speaking? A sign language, dance language, tactile language, or other? So 83.3% said no, which doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is how high the yes actually is, you know? But I think that's pretty cool. I was able to say yes thanks to Secret Handshake.
Handshake, and also, does gumsmack really count as like spoken?
I would say because it involves using the mouth and then hearing it, yes, but it's on the edge.
on
It's
the
hot.
end,
Yeah, I mean, it does involve like pulmonic and ejective airstreams, so.
Well, there's no pulmonic in gum smack. It's all ejective.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's all
It's all
chewing.
ejective.
but
Fair
still,
enough.
so it's on the edge. But yes, it is still spoken. But secret handshake gets me onto that yes category right there. So
Yeah,
nothing too
I actually
crazy.
really
there.
like secret handshake. It's a fun concept.
I've updated it a ton. Like if you go check out the document, like I made a memorize course for it so you could learn it.
It also reminds me of the hand-holding language that I don't know their names, but they're a queer couple in like the older Conlanging community, like on the listserv.
Interesting.
It's a very similar concept, but it's a personal language for the two of them.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I never heard of that. That's
That is
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, but I love Secret
Yeah, I mean,
Handshake. It's honestly my
it's-
favorite one.
It's definitely a little obscure. I'll admit I only know about it because of the documentary movie about conlanging that Britton Watkins made like a couple years back.
I have not heard of that.
You should watch that, by the way. It's a very fun documentary.
I'll look for it. Yeah. 'Cause
It's
I've
on
never heard of it.
Amazon. I don't think you have to pay to watch it even.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
Yeah.
that out. All right.
Anywho.
Next question. Have you ever created a language for the sake of a joke? So 69% no, and then 30% yes.
On that one.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
And so if this wasn't a survey conducted by me, this number probably would have been a lot smaller. But considering it came from my channel with my audience, it kind of makes
Was
sense.
the
that it
survey
this high.
before or after the Cursed Conlang contest started?
Before and during. I didn't close it until like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That probably does skew the results a little bit, but I mean, probably not too many. We
Yeah.
didn't have that many
I feel like the
submissions.
people who
Yeah.
would have participated would have also answered early on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was mostly people in like your immediate community and on your Discord server that submitted.
Yeah, exactly. And then the only equivalent to this one from last year was the what approximate percentage one. I got rid of most of the approximate percentage ones, but you could see it looks like this new question is a bit more representative of
Yeah.
what we were looking for than this one, you know? So I like the new question better than the old one. All right. Now, have you ever made a language you would consider to be an engineered language? Which I think is also in here somewhere. Come on, where is it? Engineered. There we go. So, again,
I mean, most languages I've been involved in are engineered to be horrible. Does that count?
I would say
Yeah.
no, just
Well,
because
yeah.
Englangs specifically refer to shit like Lojban and Ithquil.
yeah, that are meant to be like pure logic, basically.
And not even just that, but like languages that are meant to experiment with the way your brain processes language are a big aspect of that.
Yeah. So, I said no on this one just because it's never been my goal before.
Like I would consider certain more experimental auxlangs to be Englangs, like Aoi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
and
makes
there's
sense.
definitely like bleed over. Like arguably, Englangs and philosophical languages from like the 1800s probably
Yeah.
fall into the same category, realistically speaking.
Kinda, yeah.
It's a bit wishy-washy to be sure.
Yeah. But either way, I think this number still makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Now the Auxlang question. So this one is like this one is 3/4 no, 1/4 yes. So 1/4 of Conlangers are Auxlangers. And as we saw in that previous question about the purpose, only 10% of Conlangers, 10.6, said that they did it for the purpose of actual real world potential usage. So there are a lot of Auxlangers that don't have that goal in mind, which I think is kind of cool because it doesn't have to be about real world applications.
I answered yes to this one because you included fictional auxlangs.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, because I developed slightly a... Sorry, Eternal.
I'd say the concept of piracy is generally an international thing, so does hyperpiracy
Damn
count?
it.
Oh my god.
I would say no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I developed a fictional Oxlang that's basically an extended joke about how Eurocentric Esperanto is. That exists
Yeah.
within my world.
I think that the contemporary Oxlang movement has to acknowledge the fact that Oxlangs aren't effective.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be in
Like, yeah.
an Oxlang Discord server,
Oh.
and I mean, I joined there because I was trying. This was in the phase where I was searching for stuff for Sambasa, and so I joined there to search for stuff for Sambasa. And in it, I realized that a lot of the people there making Oxlangs had no beliefs of grandeur that their Oxlang would ever be used
Yeah.
Yeah.
as an Oxlang.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So it's basically
Definitely.
like coming of age in the Oxlang community to come to terms with that reality.
To accept that
You know-
Oxlangs are ineffective.
It reminds me too of that like historical essay that calls conlangers like before the term even existed. This is from like the 30s or 40s if I'm not mistaken. But people like us were referred to as the quote lunatic lovers of language. Which fucking ouch, man.
Oh my god.
Like at the time it was really just Oxlangs, so I can understand why you might feel that conlanging is a bit of a delusional hobby at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I know that thanks to the power and influence of Jan Measley during the olden days, I thought that Oxlangs was like the majority of conlangs. And I was honestly very relieved after the first Conlang census to see that Oxlanging was actually like only a small portion of it. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That whole deal is why I wasn't actually a huge fan of Jan Measley until I got a little bit older, because I was just so deeply disinterested in the concept of Oxlangs.
Yeah, yeah, cause that I don't know, the fact that it was all about critiquing them based on their potential use, when again, like, Oxlangers know that the potential use isn't really what it's about when you're having fun. I don't know. It was
more about like constructing something under constraints.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to make Oxlangs. Is that the only way to like get seen in this community? But then I realized no, only 25% of conlangers have ever made an Oxlang. So there you go. I was relieved when I first found that out, because it was like, okay, I can actually show my non-Oxlang stuff to people and maybe get watched. But yeah. Anyway, when making an auxiliary language for the Oxlangers, of course, how do you most often intend for it to be used? Okay, so this is relevant. And so, this question was on here too. Oh, and of course NA. I had an NA option on here last time, so that got the majority of it. But if you look at this little slice of the pie, it looks pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
As a worldwide universal language, about the same as internationally between speakers of languages within a single family, a little bit more than other, a little bit more than internationally between speakers of languages from different language families. So there you go. Those are the options.
I feel like it's kind of weird that the blue chunk internationally between speakers of a single family of languages is as big as it is, just because that I guess just to me personally seems like a really silly idea.
Well, I mean, not necessarily.
Especially in the context of like a romance, like a romance or a Nordic one. I know there are two pretty popular Oxlangs of those concepts. Like, romance languages are already so mutually intelligible with one another that it kind of is like, why would you do that? And the same with like a lot of North Germanic languages. It seems a little goofy to me personally.
Well, that's the thing though. On Instagram, there are a ton of romance language conlangers who make like alternate reality romance languages. Like they'll
Yeah,
choose.
but is that the same thing as as like a Romance language auxlang?
Yeah, I guess maybe not. Not really.
I mean, they are related, to
Yeah,
be sure.
the
but,
related
like,
ideas, but it might not be the same. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a subject for another time. But that's that's interesting to think about. I could talk about that for a while. But anyway, when making conlangs, do you often take inspiration from natural languages? I think I have a similar one from last year. There we go. Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Mostly yes.
Almost exactly.
That is what I do all of the time. It's kind of hard not to, considering our brains live within natural languages.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense. What
confirmed 9% of conlangers are working on Ithkuil.
Yeah, there you go. What approximate fraction of your conlangs do you consider naturalistic? And it looks, this is the only one of like the bar questions that I kept, because I feel like this one kind of fits logically. So we got, most people are saying about 80% of their languages they consider naturalistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I guess
For
that
me,
makes
I
sense.
put about 100%. Because I've made a few non-naturalistics, but when I have 50 languages, most are.
Yeah. I have some languages that definitely push the boundaries of naturalism, but I would consider all of my conlangs, with like 2 exceptions, to at least have the goal of being naturalistic.
Yeah.
I think I answered with 0. Yeah.
I think I put 3, because all the ones I've worked on with Eternal definitely go on that not naturalistic end, but the ones that I have worked on go more on the other end. So I'd say it kind of goes, and I go in the middle. But yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, if you aim for
Somewhat.
naturalism, do you often try to emulate the vibe of specific natural languages? This was yeah, so slightly higher ratio of yes on this one. Might be influenced from the fact that I made a whole video about what it's like to take vibes from natural languages. But
Maybe, yeah.
yeah,
I would blame this on the Zoomerization of conlanging. Zoomers are very fond of the word vibe.
that's true. More
And
people know what the
emulating.
word vibe means.
Sorry, I had to make the joke.
Oh my god. But yeah, I don't
The zoomerification of Conlang.
Zoomies. They're going zooming. They're zooming. Yeah, I don't see anything crazy about this question. Seems pretty rational to me.
Sorry,
When-
I was reading
when-
the chat. Lord Big Daddy Funky Chunky says, quote, lunatic lovers of language has now been replaced by cute frauds.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're all cute frauds here. There's no change in that. Anyway, when making conlangs, do you often take inspiration from other conlangs? This number shrunk a lot. Dang. Actually, no, grew a lot. Grew. Yes is blue. That this number grew a lot. Really? You took inspiration from other conlangs to make yours? Because I don't really do that too often. I think I
Yeah.
said no on this one. That's interesting. Look, that's a significant increase.
Yeah.
I don't even have any real theories on that. Maybe
Me either.
maybe Tokipona got more popular over the past year, because it has. There's been a ton of videos and articles and stuff about Tokipona in the past year. It has definitely gained
Pokepona
popularity.
has just like, it's become ubiquitous within the conlanging community.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'd
Especially
also
with
maybe
the zoomers.
if I were to like try and peg it on something in particular, I feel like a fair amount of us conlanging YouTubers of the current day and age, like especially Bibliridian is a big example, have been releasing content about like fairly well developed naturalistic languages from which there is a lot of inspiration to be drawn.
That's true. There
Yeah.
are a lot of
Bibliridian,
people who love that.
Narandil, Shmi languages, a couple other people.
Yeah, this is true.
Like one of my languages was mildly inspired by Bavarian.
I mean, I really enjoy Bib's content. Obviously, I was head mod of his Discord server for ages.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of really good, high quality language content on YouTube specifically now. So I would chalk it up to something to do with that, maybe. But
The
then again, that is-
zoomerification once again.
There you go. Lord Big Daddy Funky Chunky said Jan Measley educated the entire Wyoming Conlang community.
Yeah.
Yes.
One one
Yes,
person.
the entire Wyoming Conlang community. Anyway. Okay. Now, this is a new one. When creating naturalistic languages, which of these popular language families have you ever knowingly drawn inspiration from? So,
All
Indo-European,
Indo-European.
blam, 90% Indo-European. What even
I
is...
wonder why.
Everyone's basic.
Second place is frickin' isolates, like Basque and Ainu.
I bet it's because of Basque.
Yeah,
I think
most
it's
likely.
because our language nerd brains glom onto them.
Yeah, we're like, isolates,
Yeah.
that's weird. I like isolates.
And then, of course, next is Uralic.
Yeah, Uralic, of course,
God
of
damn it.
course. Certified,
That's
certified.
And then Sino-Tibetan.
yeah.
I would
actually
blame
makes
the
sense.
Uralic specifically on. Oh wait, no, Hungarian's not a Uralic language. Never mind.
I thought it was.
I was. Just...
It
It's
is.
Finno-Ugric.
Yeah,
It's
but
not a
that's-
Uralic language. It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
Ugric language.
Yeah, you're right. There's a difference. But yeah, and then Sino-Tibetan, then Austronesian. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Afro-Asiatic before
Austrone-
Austronesian. But yeah.
The Austronesian proliferation makes sense to me just because recently, okay, I say recently, basically ever since Artifexian made a video on it, people have been pretty gaga over Austronesian alignment and similar systems.
Okay. Regarding Uralic, I'll have you know that Finno-Ugric is a subfamily of the Uralic languages.
There
Oh,
we
is
go.
it? That's my bad
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Why Finno-Ugric isn't on this list otherwise it would be very weird.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad then. I had that
Um,
backwards in my head.
it looks like the lowest one was human. But I put that on there as some Arizona representation. More people got inspiration for human languages than there are Arizona conlangers, so I'll take that as a
Nice.
win.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I answered isolates, Sino-Tibetan, Indo-European, Uralic, and Cilician.
Me personally, I answered Indo-European.
There you
That's
go.
fair.
I
Because
did.
once again,
I only
am,
answered Cilician because New Hawk is very interesting to me.
I am the
No.
mode conlanger.
Yeah, that's right. You're the Mina mode. I don't remember which ones I put, but it's a lot of these. At least at one point ever. And then other extinct families got a significant percent too. That's pretty cool.
Are there extinct superfamilies?
Whatever Etruscan was part of.
Yeah, but we classify that as an isolate.
Well, no,
Hey,
there's a Tyrrhenian language family that
Is
includes
there?
Etruscan. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I am wrong a lot recently, it seems.
Juno,
That's one example.
you need to accept being wrong when you're in a call with me. Even if I'm not the reason for you being wrong, me being here is why you're wrong.
True.
Got 'em.
This is correct and good.
Tragic. All right, next question. Which of the following morphosyntactic alignments? I think that
I
one was
am
on
the
here.
mode!
I changed this question from last time to make it able to choose multiple because this as a pie chart doesn't make sense. Yeah. So there we go. That makes sense. That also makes sense. That makes more sense than ergative absolutive, honestly. I
Yeah.
feel like that should be higher, but you know,
Well, I think a lot
Indicates a
of it
lack
is
of
people-
understanding of what ergative absolutive alignment is.
which is common. So that's-
Zoomerism!
there you go.
The zoomerification. That's
Got
what
it.
it is.
And then other systems got pretty high, which I don't even know what other systems they're talking about, but I guess you can make
I
stuff
can
up.
refer to a couple of things, like Austronesian alignment usually, though. I actually have a language that I shelved that's split in transitive.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
that's,
no,
that's
that one,
that's
that
cool.
one was a little mind-bendy to work with.
Oh, I'm sure. That's interesting. Huh.
Honestly, I would take split ergativity over split and transitive any day of the week.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Part of the problem is that there is so little research about split intransitivity because it's so extremely rare. As far
It's
as I'm
also-
aware, there is literally only one language in the world that is split intransitive, and it's an Iranian language.
Really?
It also just
Yeah.
that lexical aspect as a concept is like fairly complicated. Like I remember doing that in my semantics class at uni, but like the main thing to take away from it was that whether a verb is like active, stative, whatever, it's like basically just I don't know, that's different from language to language. Like in some languages, die is active and others it's passive, whatever. Like no like there doesn't seem to be any inherent correlation between certain meanings and whether a word is active or passive. That depends on the language, and in which case, yeah. Well, which one are you gonna pick then? That's like
The other thing with
Yeah.
split intransitivity, in regards to its rareness, it's kind of similar to tripartite or split ergativity, where it's an inherently unstable classification system, so therefore it tends to erode over time and is therefore rare. But split intransitive is that, but even more so, at least given by the singular data point we have.
Yeah. No. That's interesting.
Specifically,
because it makes
and the other
most
thing too
sense.
is that split ergativity tends to come, from collapsing nominative accusative systems, but split intransitivity comes from collapsing split ergative systems. So it's like already a rare system that you have to have before you can even get to this, which is why it's so rare. It was such a fucking pain in the ass to research split intransitivity. I regret it, frankly.
Oh, I've tried it before and I've failed miserably. My favorite is still tripartite.
I agree. It is the most fun.
It is also the most
My
sensible.
my most commonly used one is definitely nominative accusative.
I mean, same. It's it's the one that's most intuitive.
Yeah.
Most intuitive to English speakers, certainly, yeah.
I don't think I've used the others much.
Sorry. And Yeshua just called me. I was like, oh, got him. Anyway.
Fair enough.
All right. Anyway, you ready for the next question? Let's go.
Oh yes. That weird kid says Okalawa gang, and I agree.
I approve of
Okalawa.
Got him.
Yeah, that's the singular reason I have so many uvulars in my languages.
This question here is a combination of like 4 different questions into one from last time because I realized I could do it more efficiently. Which of the following phonemic inventory choices have you made for your conlangs? This includes sign language inventories, tactile inventories, etc. And yes, technically, even in languages where the units of meaning aren't based on sound, apparently, and I had to research this, the official term is still a phoneme, even though it doesn't involve sound. I don't like that. I think that is cringe, but that's the official.
I think it should be called.
It should
What
be.
else would you call it then?
Tactemes. I don't know, like tactemes for touch.
Handeme.
Fingemes for secret handshake.
Call them chiremes. That's like for Greek word for hand or something. But yeah.
But anyway, so Naturalistic got the most, 20 to 50 phonemes, which is like a very large span that includes all of the average languages in the world. And then Minimalist is less than 20 total, which is a minority of languages in the world, but there are a lot of them that exist in the real world. Then Maximalist, which is more than 50, which, like, I don't know, Georgian moment. And then other, an inventory system that cannot be quantified by phonemes, which some people probably for their sign languages selected that option, but whatever. I don't see anything surprising in this personally. This makes sense. Yeah, like most of the time you're going to end up having somewhere between this rather wide range of 20 and 50.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I actually think that most of our jokelangs are minimalist because, like,
kinda, yeah.
If you even if you include all the tones in rabbit, that's still only like 10 sounds.
Yeah.
Santa has like same thing because of the like the tone combination are just multiple vowels in a row basically, and hyperpowering only has 10 sounds. It just happens that they are all R sound. I mean, it
Yeah.
has more than that if you count like the long variety.
I think hyperpyrate goes above 20. I think it does.
Yeah, if you count like the long vowel
Yeah.
consonants.
Even Santa goes over 20 if you count all the various lengths.
Yeah,
And then it goes
I-
over 400 if you include all the tone combinations.
Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't count that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't see anything radical about this. I'm ready to go on to the next one. Now, which of the following features have you implemented in a conlang? I think I had something. There we go. Okay, so I made it an optional question, so I didn't have to include an NA option on here. But this looks pretty much the same. Like, it looks like grammatical gender has slightly beaten number marking, and I added a couple
Okay.
I
others
bet
on
that's
here.
due to that one video on why it was like grammatical gender is good actually.
Was that K. Klein?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
In
A
defense
slight
of
boost in
grammatical
popularity.
gender,
Yeah.
Jake Klein.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 130,000 views, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh wow, Zalishvili speaks an ergative absolutive as a native. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Epic. Anyway, yeah, so nothing on here is different than last year. Of course, case is the top one because that's usually the first thing that people learn about when they learn to conlang. So, you know, that they figure out what case is and then they go from there, you know. The Wikipedia list of grammatical cases. Next question. Have you ever tried to make up new linguistic concepts that don't exist in the real world? About the same as last year. A few more people said yes this time by ratio.
Conlang zoomerism.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to officially make up a new linguistic concept. So realistically, everyone who said yes really means I'm not sure. But
Well, aren't there like the people who like? Well, it says tried.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
like, they
Tried.
probably did
We're good.
something that they felt
Yeah.
as though they were making something new. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether or not it already existed. Because like, they're not gonna read every single research paper on the internet to figure
Yeah.
out.
Although this does remind me of the one conlang we were talking about during the cursed conlang circus, where they were kind of poorly describing how complicated the phonology of their language was, but we kind of realized they were just talking about like consonant gradation and allophony.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly. So that's where a not sure goes in, or like a yes, like you tried to. Though
Yeah.
it's very difficult to actually end up as an end result having a new linguistic concept because most of them
Yeah, it's,
are already used in at least one language. You know,
Yeah, it's like a 150-year-old field.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like tropes, like storytelling tropes. You know, like
So-
the just because you use tropes doesn't make you a bad writer. You know, you gotta use tropes because those are the things that work. You know, it's how effective storytelling has come out. Just like using existing linguistic concepts and putting your own creative spin on them are how you
Yeah.
make original conlangs. So it's that's just how it goes. It's art.
Closest thing I can think of that comes close to that would be qualifiers in Santa.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
That is a pretty weird one. I do not know any languages in the real world that include those kind of Santa rhythmic and grammatical qualifiers. Those are weird. Anyway, do you often make conscripts with or for your languages? And I just changed
Yeah.
it. I changed the only difference in these questions is it went from just with your languages to with/for your languages. And I don't know if it was the wording or the population sample, but this is a pretty different result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting. It went straight went really high to no, I don't often make conscripts. Okay, there we go. It's because no, I don't make conscripts like at all versus no, I don't often make conscripts. That probably had something to do with it.
That
Yeah.
would explain that, yeah.
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 Because
I love making conscripts. That's my favorite part.
I have a lot of fun with it too. I wouldn't call it my
I-
favorite part, but I like it.
I have not made a conscript that I've wanted to use for a naturalistic conlang, which is really upsetting because I really want to have a conscript for my language. And actually today, coincidentally, I was talking with my therapist and I was like, I might hire someone to make conscript for my language.
This actually reminds me. At one point, I had set up a Patreon page, which I still have, but I made a banner for it, and in the banner were some little snippets of conscript work that I had done. And I remember I just got this random ass DM from Bibleridian asking me about one of the conscripts in the banner because he was like, that was the exact visual aesthetic I was trying to go for with Nakatsuki.
That's awesome.
It was so wild. I was very flattered, though.
That's pretty surreal. Just like, sorry? Okay.
Yeah, I was. I straight up didn't know how to respond. It was wild.
That does sound pretty wild.
That's awesome. All right, you ready to go on to the next one? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
What types of conscripts have you created for your projects? Like ever. Select all that apply. This is a new one, I think. Oh wait, no. The only difference is this is an ever kind of question, and this is a to your satisfaction kind of question. But the ratio ends up being exactly the same. So, yeah, alphabets. As a majority English-speaking audience, I would expect you all to have an easier time doing alphabets than any of the others, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it feels more intuitive to me.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised how many of you have, done logographies. I've done one logography so far for Thvasfan, and that was a lot of work just to get, a basic sum of things out. But that's a pretty high ratio of people who have done logographies.
I've done 2 logographies.
Okay.
Although I would consider the one that I made for Dovizul to be a partial logography.
Okay.
The primary aspect of the script is that it's a syllabary, or an abugida, arguably. But yeah, logographies are so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very fun to work on, especially with doing rebus stuff and things
rebus.
like that. It's very creative, but conversely, that also means it's a ton of effort.
Yeah, exactly. Very whack. I have an idea for a really cool logography, but I'm gonna keep that secret for now. It'll be revealed in the future. Anyway, yeah. Other than that, I don't see anything too radical about this.
Wait. I just remembered. The
Yeah.
person who made the Ulu language also made an abugida called the Falagida.
Oh
or something
no!
like
Oh no!
For every single symbol is a drawing of a phallus.
God damn it! Of course it is. That doesn't surprise me at all. I sigh.
I mean,
but
it was
laugh
gonna
at the
happen
same time.
eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
And a bunch of the comments were like, I keep seeing writings from this conscript on walls in my bathroom. What did it mean?
The most commonly written language in the world. Alright, I think this is a new question right here. Which directionalities or orientations have you used for your conscripts? We got left to right in a solid lead. Then we got right to left, so 36%. Pretty big difference, but it makes sense. Top to bottom, which of course can include the concept of left to right. It's got to go somewhere after the first line, so that makes sense that that's so high. Bottom to top is extra low. Then we have Bostrophodon, of course, at 15.7%. Circular and rotational got 8.2%, which is pretty interesting.
I once made
I
a
actu-
circular one.
I actually answered yes to everything except top to bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually clicked everything all the first time, and then I thought about it, and I was like, wait, I actually haven't done top to bottom before.
Yeah.
I remember at one point I was making a vertical script like that, and I was like, oh, I am going to be kitschy and original and make it bottom to top instead of top to bottom.
Got him.
Yeah, and I just never got around to doing another vertical script.
Huh.
I plan on the one for my language to be top to bottom when I eventually get around to it.
In the dog world, most of them are left to right, but they've all had a lot of cultural interactions with each other. Technically, Phosphon, the logography one, is written top to bottom though, so there's that, and then there is one that's right to left, and one that's radial, but I haven't gotten to those yet. So I think I did left to right, right to left, top to bottom, and circular rotational. I've never done Bostrophodon because I like seeing my symbols written out in the original direction they were intended in, and the idea of like turning them backwards or reading the word backwards scares me.
Yeah. So, Bostrophodon is a pain to type that. Like,
Actually, that's true, because Hyperpirate's Bostrophodon, so I guess technically I have done it. But but you made that, so that's more of you doing that, and me just suffering the consequences eternal. So you've done Bostrophodon. Very tragic.
and it's pain.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
The rotational script I made was for a mermaid language. It's written on these big circular seashells and carved into them. So you read it by turning the seashell around in your hands.
Oh,
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Thank
Huh.
you.
My rotational script was purely made because I was chatting with an IRL friend, and he was like, "Hey Kate, can you make me? I'm curious if a rotational script could exist." And then I was like, "Yeah,
You're like,
probably
"Yeah."
could." And then they were like, "Oh, could you show me an example?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try making one." And I like kind of made it inspired by flowers.
Oh, nice.
It was cool.
That's
I
a
ran
good
out of flower
aesthetic
petal
choice.
shapes, so some were just random shapes, but you know, it worked.
Yeah, it'd be that way.
The way it worked was like the shape of the petal was the consonant, and then there was a symbol inside a petal, like a dot or something. That was the vowel. So it was an abugida, circular rotational.
Nice.
That is pretty cool. All right, we ready for the next question?
Yes.
So this question got fucked up in the data, and I tried to undo it, but it didn't work. So you're just gonna have to perceive this a little bit more cerebrally. Hang on a second. So this is which
Yeah,
aspect
it's
of
big brain
conlanging do you
time.
enjoy most? My mistake, my oopsie on this was someone commented on it saying, well, what if we're not like so into linguistics that we know what all these words mean? You should add on like parentheses on this first one for what each of them mean. And so I added them on there. But instead of it switching all of them, it created an undescribed list of them and a described
Oh.
list of them. So it completely corrupted the
Oh.
visuals on here, which is very, very tragic.
Fucking whoops.
Yeah, exactly. Big
Whoopsies.
whoops. So phonology is both here and here on this one, but it makes up, what is that, 25, basically 26% total, as opposed to 31% on the previous one. So, I mean, that's a slight decrease in the amount of people who enjoy phonology the most, which, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Syntax and then syntax over here too. So 16% syntax as opposed to 14% last time. So it just looks like overall people are starting to enjoy the other aspects of conlanging than just phonology more, which I think is good because there's a lot more to it than just phonology.
Yeah.
How many syntax at? No, sorry, morphology.
Morphology? Let's see. Morphology is this one, so 10
Everyone knows the
plus
best part's
5.
evolution.
15% morphology as opposed to 14.3% last time. So a little bit more.
How much evolution did we get?
Evolution 9.7% and 6.9%. So what is that?
6.9.
60. So basically 16% as opposed
The
to 19%
funny number has
last
arrived.
time.
No, it's lower.
Dang, so evolution went down. Tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah. Personally, my favorites are definitely conscripts and lexicon.
Yeah. I didn't include conscripts as an option on this because it's not part of the language, you know?
Yeah.
So it's this is about like the elements of like grammar in the language itself.
I bet a lot of the other is
It's probably
conscript.
people saying conscript, exactly. Mine is morphology. I love morphology.
Yeah.
Morphology is very fun. Allophony is also very fun. I don't do it often enough, like or like as severely as I could in my fantasies because I love allophony and like real languages and stuff. But anyway, not too surprising. Again, people are just branching out a little bit from phonology and enjoying more different aspects of language more than last year, which I think is a good thing.
God, you remember the plague of like the conlanging subreddit being like, here's my language, and it's literally just sound inventory? Like, not to put
exactly.
people on blast, but like, you know, branch out a little bit.
I'm too Gen Z to use Reddit.
That's fair. It's a terrible website.
My innocent high schooler eyes would not be able to handle it.
Innocent high schooler eyes. Thank you for that.
Got him. All right. Next question. None of the other ones are messed up like this. So I added. This is a new question. Which one do you dislike the most? So lexicon is the most disliked element of conlanging.
It's so terrible. But I think the people who put lexicon simply do not understand pragmatics enough to choose that one.
Because that was what I chose, was pragmatics.
Yeah.
I think I also chose pragmatics. It's the annoying bit at the end if you have time, like.
Because pragmatic, like lexicon's like, oh, upset with making words and meaning. Pragmatics is that, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, but it's interesting how lexicon's the most disliked.
Because it's the part where they're like, oh, god damn it, now I need to make 50,000 words.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Syntax is a close second for me, though.
Syntax did indeed get second place on the most disliked element of conlanging. The most
Partially,
liked
though, this is
I
feel like this is partially just because the reading you have to do to learn about syntax is so deeply obtuse.
Yeah, there's not many comprehensible articles about it. It's a lot of intuition and stuff, and yeah, whatever. So phonology might not be it still is the favorite by a little bit, but it's also the least disliked, which makes sense. All right. Now, on to the easiest. What do you find the easiest? Phonology. Blam.
Wow.
Or not surprising at all. Second place is
it's
lexicon, but yeah.
You just take the Latin phonology, add in uvulars, boom, new language.
Got him.
Here's my language. Let me post it to the conlanging subreddit.
You ever just make a conlang with the Thandian inventory?
Oh my god. Thandian moment. So other pragmatics is the least on easiest, lower than other. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, now the most difficult. A lot more split on this one. Looks like evolution and syntax are both up there. Though again, I feel like pragmatics. I chose pragmatics on most difficult also. Yeah.
I chose syntax because I'm a big dumb baby.
Got him.
I chose syntax because I don't truly understand syntax.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I just kind of make up syntax rules every single time I translate.
Yeah.
Chaotic conlanging.
I might
I
make
don't
some like
know them enough to like codify them into rules.
a lot of people have actually asked me over the past like year to like talk about like making grammar and stuff. Maybe I'll make a video about that. We'll see. But yeah, I think this makes sense overall. How about which aspect do you find the most important to considering a project complete? And so we got lexicon as the biggest one. Like, people are like, you gotta have a dictionary in order to consider it complete, I guess. Second place is syntax.
If I don't know how to say banana in your language, it's not done.
If I can't have dirty talks with someone in your language, is it complete?
If you don't have a totally naturalistic way to say americium, number like 108 on the periodic table, your lexicon's not complete. God.
You should have a direct translation for
If I
Schadenfreude.
can't write a paper proving why 1 + 1 = 2 in your Conlang, is it really complete?
That's the standard everyone must live by. Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
math development in languages is the thing that I just straight up refuse to do. Because I do not understand math in my own native language even.
There you
I
go.
actually tried to do that for a bit in my language, but decided against it.
I usually do like
But
a plus and minus in all my Conlang dictionaries just to
I-
have it.
I do have the words for the 4 basic operations and exponentiation.
Yeah.
Specifically squaring and cubing.
I've got a lot of math words in Autogen, but that's just because that's my biggest dictionary out of all my languages.
That makes sense.
Because it has the largest lexicon, because lexicon's most important for complete.
I don't buy the
Oh.
Auto-June grammar book, but I don't have any money.
I have it on my shelf.
Nice.
I just gave out 3 of them to the winners of the Cursed Conlang Circus.
Nice.
Got them.
What would you do if someone already had it? In the
Then
Cursed Conlang
they'd
Con.
be able to introduce a friend of theirs to the world of conlanging, and the cycle will go
I
on.
see.
There you go. All right, what do you consider the least important to considering a language complete? Evolution and allophony. I guess that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it
'cause-
also makes sense because they're connected topics.
yeah.
Well, think about it. Like, evolution is only important for specific kinds of natlangs. Because you can make
Yeah.
naturalistic conlangs that don't necessarily have evolution.
This is true.
And you can make conlangs that aren't naturalistic. They could be personal, they could be art, they could be oxlangs, they could be loglangs. There's
Yeah.
so many types of conlangs that don't require evolution.
That is a good point. I didn't think of that.
So that's why I put evolution as the least important.
Very true. I could see that. I could see that. And it looks like last year allophony actually slightly beat evolution as the least important, but this year the tables have turned. But otherwise, pretty similar data points.
Oh, how the turntables.
Oh, how the
Hold on,
turntables.
can I just give pity to Grep the Barbarian? I can't figure out pragmatics because I am not spoken to. Sad face.
Oh god. Oh god.
Poor Grep.
Poor guy.
This is tragic. This is tragic.
Sorry to hear that, Grep. I hope things get better for you.
Oh god. We love you, Grip. Not in a parasocial way, but we love you.
We love you in a true friendship way.
There you go.
We are your friends now. Well, in 5 minutes when the video catches up for you.
There you go. Rest in peace. Yeah, the internet's not having a good time today. Anyway, have you ever created a proto-language from which at least one of your conlangs originates? We got a 66.3% yes on that one. I was
Fun fact,
one of
my
the yeses.
primary language that I've been working on comes from a proto-language which was reverse evolved from a different language I made.
Oh.
Nice.
You know, I
That's
kind of did that
basic,
too.
though.
Yeah, I reverse
Yeah.
evolved Origin into Phosphon and then used Phosphon later as the basis for Paramachican and Noshin and Prince and all that.
So
Nice.
imagine this, but then you then decide to scrap Origin and remake it
Oh
from
god.
scratch.
Oh god.
Because that's what
Biggest
happened to
ripoff.
me with this language.
I feel like the reason yes is so skewed though is because a lot of modern conlangers have specifically learned from DJP's method.
Yeah.
The Zoomers! The Zoomerification!
That's true. And this is a very internet oriented conlang community that was
The
likely
modern
inspired by that.
generation of conlanging.
Also, like, my favorite parts of Bibloridian's videos were always showing how certain words evolved from the proto. You know, that was always, like, my favorite part. I'm like, ooh, I want to see these things shift and shimmy into their final forms. So
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of
The
inspiration.
reason I
from
like
there, too.
Adun so much is just because of the like whackness of the language evolution in conjunction with its writing system very much not evolving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But yeah,
I actually have a writing system rather that I want to work on at some point that's going to be inspired by Adun in a very similar way.
Dune.
It's going to be super cursed.
I'm hyped to see what that looks like. All right. Next proto-language question. Do you often start with the desired aesthetics of at least one descendant in mind?
I
50%
think
said
that
kind
my-
of, but not fully.
I think that my story of making a language and then making the proto-language counts as yes for this question.
I'd say that's
Yeah.
a fair yes scenario. I did yes.
So to be fair, after I made the proto-language, I then went back and changed the modern language to like have more irregularity pop in from the evolution from the proto-language.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I just did like thousands of years of evolution for a language, and I had to start from a starting point, and I knew that I wanted like a certain end result, so I pretty strongly fall into the yes column for that one. All right, you ready for the next one?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Which aspects of a language have you tried to incorporate to make a language feel naturalistic and lived in? Which is a slightly different worded version of this exact same question here.
But almost the exact same graph.
Yeah, pretty much the same graph. Pretty much
Except
the same graph. Except
The other
swap
graph
slang.
has
and-
proto-language.
Yeah, I just got rid of proto-language because that was from those two previous questions. So, that
But it looks
makes sense.
practically the same.
I mad respect for idiolect for individual character gang. I'm trying to
I would get to that if I ever actually got to writing with the languages.
yeah. I've been trying to do that with the comic. And so it's interesting doing that. But it's definitely a cool creative process because everyone's got their idiolect, you know?
I would actually, it's not quite identical, but specifically Game of Thrones, there are like multiple dialects of Valyrian. And there's that one scene, DJP likes to talk about it when he gives talks, but specifically when Daenerys is buying like the big slave army from the guy who's been like trash talking her in Valyrian the entire time. the scene where she reveals that she can speak Valyrian is kind of cool, because she specifically speaks in like the local variant of Valyrian, rather than the like older version of the language. It's a very cool moment if you have that knowledge in the back of your head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
It's like the show, not only do I know what you're saying, but I know what you're saying.
No. All right, I think this is one of the last questions. What numeral systems have you incorporated into your conlangs and
The
cultures?
Cenary bump, hell yeah!
Woo! Cenary, base 6, yeah.
Thank you, Jan Beasley.
Got him. And then base 12 is second to base 10. Third place is Cenary. And then fourth place is Octal.
It's interesting how
Python is
base
Octal.
16 is lower than base 20.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Also, Octal is one of the best bases for a Minecraft language.
Hey,
because
you're right.
64 is 100.
Uh-huh,
Just saying.
This is true. Base 9 got 2%. And then there's negative systems, balance systems, bijective systems.
You gotta love them.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
so many people did bijective and complex or irrational systems.
I
That's just
think
wild.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what
actually-
bijective means.
I kind of I don't know how to explain it.
So a bijective base is basically a base without 0.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So instead of the
I'm going to
digits
pretend I
0 through
understand the
9,
implications of this.
So imagine base 10. It's 0 through 9.
Right.
Bijective base 10 is 1 through 10. So you still have the ability to write every single number. The only difference is you can't write 0.
Interesting.
But every single other number where you might have a 0 in a position, unless there are multiple zeros in a row, you could, instead of writing that 0, remove 1 from the position to the left and then make that an X, I guess, for 10.
Huh.
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's a fun idea.
Yeah, it is. Not something
I
I'd
don't know.
imagine
Also,
like
the
a
only
group of
way base
hunter-gatherers
1
to use, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if fun is the word I'd use to describe that, but
Well-
I do have an irrational hatred of mathematics, so...
Base 1 only works as a bijective base. Interestingly enough.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, tally marks are bijective base 1, technically speaking.
Oh god. That's weird to think about.
Wild.
All right. Well, now we're basically at the end. How does our approval rating compare to last time?
Looks almost exactly
Looks
the same.
almost exactly the same. Woo!
We got a
So-
higher percentage of right amount and right amount.
Yep, right amount. That adds up to like 83.7, I think. Good questions, but too few of them. I'll include that in the approval rating. So 90.1. Then we have too many questions, okay, and then not enough questions. So we got like a 90 or so percent, like 91% approval rating. I'll take that as good survey, but yes, indeed, the questions do need to be optimized, and they will be optimized more and more every year, hopefully.
Do we
for as
have
long
any
as we do
fun
this.
comments to look through?
Yeah, I'm
The-
curious.
Only
See.
like
Nah.
yeah,
Love
suggestions
stuff.
for next time. For the other, I'd put in an option. No, I specifically don't want to do that because it makes the whole thing look super ugly. This is a good point right here. I didn't want to change it retroactively because it would have messed up all the questions. But you are correct. I did go 10 to 20 and then 10, like 1 to 10, then 10 to 20. Very, very cursed.
I did not know what most of the aspects of a conlang mean, but that's probably on me.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to answer those questions if you're not that deep into it. Add a not yet to ask if we speak languages. Well, no, everyone can say not yet. You know, it's not an absolute yet. Let's see.
Oh, there's a kiss emoji.
Oh, I love answering survey questions. I'm glad. I'm so glad.
Clarify whether have you include the written-only languages. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Though I guess
You
that
speak at
counts
least
in the
one
non-spoken.
language.
Hmm.
Require speaking it. The second one's a good point. Do you speak at least one
Yeah.
language that is of a different language
Oh,
family?
Yeah.
Requires speaking said language at a certain level.
True. True.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Pervasive head marking versus just any amount of head marking.
Yeah. Super fun. Appreciate the pronouns allowing for multiple options. Super dope. Y'all did a
Yeah,
great job.
go trans people.
Woo! Got him.
No, a question about discourse markers would be a good idea.
Where does it say that?
Oh yeah.
You just had your cursor hovering over it.
Oh god. Oh, there you go.
It's
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be
Yeah.
an element of naturalism right there. Oh, hey, Mars is here. Hey, Mars, how's it going?
Mars.
I guess you'll hear that in like 3 minutes, but hey.
Mars, we love you.
From the distance.
Specifically me, I love you, Mars.
Disambiguating the
Include dates
definitions of
17
words
and
in some
23.
question titles. Yeah, I did that when the questions were already out and it wrecked that first question. But next time I will do that, and I'll just have it as a default. Include bases 17 and 20. Okay, you could just put other for that. How many people are doing
Yeah.
base 17 and 23? But yeah, I don't think it makes sense to consider any conlang finished, really. So you should maybe have answers for that. Well, when you
Yeah,
stop,
we should have an option for the
yeah.
hoity-toity types like myself.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's just like when you're no longer working on it and haven't worked on it in a while and you feel satisfaction from it. If you feel satisfaction from it, I'd say it's finished.
Fuck yeah, trans rights.
Hanga, you are cool. Also, I don't know how to use phonology, so maybe make a tutorial? Question mark. Okay.
Man, so many tutorials are in
The phrase "I
me.
don't know how to use phonology" is very indicative.
Got him. But has an option to. I don't like write-ins. I'm sorry. Like
No
I
write-ins. We are
appreciate people's.
anti-write-in.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but having the write-in options completely wrecks the integrity of the data.
Just have the option to email Agma Schwab personally if
Yeah.
you have something so important.
Oh, we have a long. Oh, this is a big one. Oh, that's a big one. Oh boy.
Oh, jeez.
Yes,
Fuck yeah,
trans
trans
rights. Got him. Yes.
Trans right.
These are some interesting questions that are options on here. I don't feel like reading a big paragraph because I've been talking for almost 3 hours now, but I'm definitely gonna read this and think about it later. Well, we already had a question on that. I missed the questions about cases. I had the big Wikipedia list of cases from last time. Oh my god. This I might do next time, like having a grid box of selections to go on both sexuality and romanticity. Like that I might do on the next one.
More
cowbell. That's awesome. Oh wow, nice good ones. Oh wow, degree.
Hey,
of
we had a question
intimacy.
about linguistic inventions. What are you talking about?
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Again, there are 295 of these. I don't know if we should go through them now because we should probably be finishing
Let's
up
just
soon.
try and search for the transphobes.
Oh god, I know they're in there. I don't know if we need to search them out. I think we
Penis!
Wait, where?
Penis! Someone said penis!
Ah!
Someone said
Ah!
End the stream now!
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
A-
Plus.
Add
End
word
of-
of mouth as a way you learn to discover conlangs. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people are doing that. You might be an exception, but that's yeah. I might do that.
Unfortunately, though, they also asked about the term Eskimo Aleut. Unfortunately,
go.
that is
There we
like
go.
the
Oh my god, we got
There-
trans.
unfortunately,
there we go.
so like Eskimo is considered a slur by many Arctic people. However, that is just what the language family is called in scholarly circles. So that's kind of out of our hands.
Imagine if other language families were named after slurs. That would
Oh,
be
God.
so
Oh
upsetting.
god.
That would be really bad.
Absolutely tragic. If mac and cheese had a language, that would that be fucked up or what?
There we go.
Oh my god.
These answers are really something.
Oh, this person calls Senary seximal, but did Jan Measley invent the word seximal? Because I'd only ever
Yeah,
heard Senary.
I don't know if Jan Measley invented it, but he definitely popularized it.
Yeah.
For this one, yes, if you're active in the Tokipona communities, that means you're active within the broader Conlang community. For future context, less questions immediately followed by more questions. I missed the long grammatical
Another more
case question. Oh, good times.
Come.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And then a big description about the urban-rural divide. Interesting.
I love how that's the difference of humanity. That's the duality. of
That's
humanity.
that's humanity right there. Come or a big ol' helpful paragraph. Some questions need
duality,
nuanced answers.
Need
Sure, yeah. We'll work on that.
another I missed the noun cases question.
Could ask about a posteriori. That's true. That's true.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll find some questions to ask about that. And then just a bunch of ways to say thanks in your conlangs.
The people who just put the word
Lethal,
and then people
Rati,
who put essays.
Gami.
It's the
imperative form
to
of
have sex. Have sex, but with a potty joke slotted into grammar. Yes, this is Keep the language of the clown. Wait, Babalingua?
Oh,
What?
shit.
Oh
Babalingua?
my God.
That's how you say thank you in
Right
clown?
Oh,
Excuse me?
Ah.
Oh my god.
Hold on, wait. Which one's mine? Is mine near the top?
Wait, what?
Which one's mine? Is mine near the top? I don't see mine. I might have
People who
answered
romanize
it a bit
as
later.
with a Z make me mad.
Thank you for Paladin or something.
I wouldn't be surprised. A single sweet pea flower wrapped in a white twine. That's Tesseract King. Nice.
Oh yeah.
There's mine. Sionke A. That's thank you in Autojune. Godspeed men. That was I think that was Enya Shui's. Oh my god.
I like the sound of Aplena.
Yeah. And then comma.